be struck by the combined sea, land, and air forces of the Allies together.
Raid operation commencing.
Fire! Don't spare the losses.
Load main gun. We have a target.
Enemy armor contact! Oh Christ! We're hold! Heavy armor! Fire! Armor destroyed!
There is no shadow of doubt that our Allied forces will end this war over the Axis in the only proper way.
Air landing forces over the battlefield now.
Good work, everyone. We'll be going in for king and country. On the way, you duck! Shut up!
Assault orders have been issued.
Fire! 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 Go! Go! Enemy range! Going range! On target! Fire! Consolidate battle rifle fire! Fire! Secure that target! Strike forces inbound! Fire main gun! This is where we turn the tide for forward, men! Hurrah!
Good luck to each one of you, and good hunting on the mainland of Europe.
Victory is ours.
Hello and welcome back, and what a match we have for you guys right now.
Absolutely. The next game we're going to be casting is, of course, the semi-finals, as voted for by you in Twitch chat, and, well, only Twitch chat, of course, but we have got other streams going on YouTube and Steam at the moment, yeah. But the next series is going to be the semi-finals. It is going to be Helping Hands and DevM playing against Nagano and Scotch. Nagano and Scotch have routinely been the best 2v2 team, I think, ever. Gold Path 2 is kind of the name that they go under if you don't recognize the players individually. But they're up against potentially the best, well, some of the best 1v1 players ever who have made a team for a 2v2 event.
So it's the best brute force kind of, just looking at like human skill and mechanical skill, DevM, that you would say at certain points in his career, because it has been a career, 2012, past 6 years of tournament play, that guy at some points has been quite frankly unplayable. Then you've got Helping Hands, who is a very good 1v1 player, but is, for my money, the best at carrying people and being the dominant, do what I say kind of character, because he has been all 5 factions #1 with random ranked auto match 2 versus 2. He was a grandmaster of 2 versus 2 with an unknown opponent, a teammate.
That's difficult to get for a number of reasons. One is that, you know, it's hard to be proficient in all the 5 factions. The second one is it's hard to put up with random teammates who you don't know, have no synergy with. So he's good in 2v2, you know. He's very good at that. We expect to see a lot from Hans. The games that we saw in the qualification rounds were really good. So we're expecting a lot from this game. There's going to be loads of people in chat supporting Hans for obviously the KOTU Anniversary Classic, celebrating 5 years of Company of Heroes. What a better way to do it.
What a better way to do it, indeed. It is going to be an awesome best-of-5 confrontation. And one thing about the Helping Hands DevM dynamic, and I will be touching on this because it is a very interesting personal kind of duo, is Hans has had to think to himself, I respect DevM, so I'm not in a position I usually find myself in as the superior player. DevM, though, very stubborn in his ways because he's so used to being aggressive. He can't sit back. If DevM loses a unit, he doesn't try and eke out a victory point win. He builds the same unit again, and he'll go at you in the exact same way, but in a different angle, perhaps, and with just as much ferocity. So they have different meshing dynamics, because Helping Hands is very much about prepared position play. I have my units, and they will weather the storm, come what may.
It's true. You're absolutely right. And that's why you always see DevM like throttling through one part of the map and Hans just carefully moving his units over to support. It's a great thing to watch, actually. We're going to get to see loads of it. And the game is starting in about 10 seconds time. So we'll roll over with the Stinger and let's get into our semi-finals games.
Let's get in.
Victory is ours.
Hello everybody and welcome to our first of the semi-final series today for the KOTU 5-year Anniversary Classic Tournament, playing in the south side of Alliance of Defiance. Double Soviets, it is one of the game's best 2v2 teams, Gold Path 2, made up of Scotch and Nagano.
And in the north, we've got Helping Hands, a rock that you will break upon. And then we've got DevM, a rock that will break your face in two. They play 2 very contrasting styles. DevM, it must be noted, is OKW in the built-up, southern, urbanised, well, it's more of a mechanical factory area. Industrialised is the best word, area. So he's OKW, and he's up against Soviets in that area, so it's going to be difficult. Let's get some cinematics on the go. Look at this beautiful game.
We love Alliance of Defiance. There's these little whispers of snowflakes coming in as the MG42s run to clear their sections of the map.
Can I make that my screensaver?
Yeah,
that was nice.
Probably a business there, making some screensavers out of this game. This is a very cinematic game, though. I mean, the animations, the graphics. Given the game is 5 years old, it's way ahead of its time in RTS graphics. But we're just seeing our first engagements at the moment. Helping Hands there, putting his MG42 in a position to defend infantry from coming up to the VP. He wants the fuel. Let's have a look at DevM on the right side, taking his first engagements.
Oh, fighting over fuel barrels. That's a risky strategy there. It certainly worked for him, though. Getting blindsided by conscripts. They're going to retreat. CERN Pioneers are very good at being ambush predators. They like to stay behind the fog of war and then unleash themselves in the potent weaponry of the Stern there.
I think it's important to actually show everyone kind of the fog of war as much as we can, because True Sight is something in this RTS where units, finally, Company Heroes 1 didn't have it, but now you can hide behind walls, you can make those surprise advances by using the terrain to cover your unit's advance. It's a great mechanic.
I actually feel sorry for Relic in big regard with this. They actually pioneered this type of fog of war, but Company Heroes 1 couldn't handle it on their PCs in 2006, so they had to can the feature. Years later, we are now able to see it in its true glory by the originators, and what a good feature it is. Maxims from Scotch, the Frenchman, Nagano's trustworthy teammate, doing the water-cooled 19th century technology there.
Well, Hans here is looking to capture as much of the map as possible, and making use of taking this strategic decap here. We call it that because Hans neutralizing these 2 points quickly means that he can stop the allies from getting their fuel by disconnecting it from the base. So good on Hans. He's paying attention to the map, making things difficult for Nagano and Scotch right from the start.
So it's a very infantry-orientated build from Nagano and a support weapon-orientated build from Scotch. Meanwhile, of course, Hans has gone for a traditional Wehrmacht, opening 3 Grens and an MG. Devem has seemingly just gone for Focus Grenadiers right now, probably building into an MG34, and to be honest, trying to get the mechanised up as soon as possible to get the Panzer II Lukes out. Devem's all about the mobile armour.
Yeah, it's Mechanized is likely here, I think, because we've seen them play a lot of Stuka on this map. It's common, actually, especially when you see your opponents going for the Maxims, that might be a unit that we see early on. But real aggression from Devem at the start of this game. The 4 Vox and Stern Pioneer build means that they're able to run infantry very far into enemy territory, and they're constantly trying to get around the lines of fire.
Scotch is a fantastic player, Dan, but I've never seen a player as fearsome as Devem when he's on form as when Devem is on form. So, like, people have literally backed away with him over the years. When he first got into the Code 2 scene in 2015, people said he's like a cash grabber, and he just cares about tournaments, and he does. He just loves to play tournaments. But the thing that has made people, you know, they've gained respect for him is the fearsome play. Let's talk about Hans, though. Nice retreat with that Grenadier getting away. Grenadier here on 2 men, very little health. Could actually get taken out on retreat there. Ooh, close.
I've got to say, what a great vault from the conscripts. They jumped over the fence to get around the arc of fire of the MG. And now you see the second conscript squad is Uraring in, trying to make sure they don't get turned and suppressed on by the MG. Beautiful play. And you just look now and, you know, Allies maybe off to a little bit of a rocky start trying to fend off the Axis, but they're about to get a lot of map control to their name.
They are. Well, they're now getting it all back, but how close are we to Devem's Panzer II? Let's have a little look.
Indeed, in fact, he's gone for the...
that's interesting.
Battle
Panzer
Grouper.
IV, then he'll be going for.
Well, I can understand the decision of Battle Grouper because he's invested so much in infantry. You know, maybe he's going to want them healed. That's sensible, but, you know, we think...
Panzer IV all the way. He's all about trying to get the tank out as soon as possible. Code 2 is such a game of, yeah, infantry combat's great. It's beautiful in the flanking manoeuvres and the small arms combat, but it's all about getting that big tank that punches a hole in your opponent's defenses.
Oh, this is a really nice flank from Devem here. And you can see the Volt Grenadiers, they weren't going to go into that building because they knew the flamethrower was next to it, and it's very effective at garrison clearing. So Devem coming around the side here and trying to cut off all these units, picking great lines around the arc of fire is a really, really good push.
He's making use of these walls very well. Scotch has barely been able to contend for the fuel in this game. Meanwhile, though, Hans hasn't had the best game in the north against Nagano. It seems like Nagano's winning the majority of these engagements fighting for this fuel area, and Devon's winning the south, so it's a yin-yang effect at the moment.
Yeah, I think that this is a fragile game. I think it probably comes down to who's going to lose units first. This Volksgrenadier, I think, is actually in the radius of fire and needs to move.
And kicked a dying Russian as well. That's not very nice. Someone would think there's a war or something going on. More machine guns.
Abhorrent behaviour.
Terrible. That's the Jerry's just don't know how to be civilized in a state of war. When we kick our opponents, it's always with a sense of gentlemanly conduct.
Just roll them.
Sorry, old boy, just give you a gentle kick in the face. There we go. Lovely stuff.
To point out, by the way, guards are just going to be uncovered by DevM here, and this should signal that a doctrine has been picked. Guards can only come from a commander. That is going to be mechanized support tactics for Scotch. Nagano, of course, went with armoured assault at the start of the game.
So the 2 heavy tanks, let's see if the Stern Pioneer survives before AE makes his point. Yes, they do. The 2 heavy tanks we're going to be seeing late in the game, of course, are the ISU-152. The Su-85 is a much bigger brother. Oh, mine goes off and kills the squad on retreat there. Stern Pioneer down and out, 300 manpower down the Swanee. What a lovely mine.
That was a brilliant mine, and you wonder how no other model had triggered that before the Stern Pioneers ran there, but that is the luck of the draw, and a great win for Scotch there.
And the other heavy tank, to complete my point, we are going to be seeing is, of course, the Iosif Stalin tank, which is a bit more mobile approach than the ISU-152, but also packs a huge punch with that 122mm cannon. So there's the Soviets with their cards on the table. Let's see what the Axis go to counter it later.
Bringing out the ISG, it's the start of indirect fire. Now, we thought it was going to be the Stuka as the indirect fire choice from Mechanized. That's not the case. He's going to be using the ISG to try and bombard the Maxims at range. And Again, the Maxims just become the focus here because they are suppressing a lot of the infantry, which Devem has invested so heavily in. So will this be the answer? I'm not convinced.
No,
I'm not
MG
convinced.
forward incendiary fire there, veterancy 1 ability. And elsewhere in the south flanking, this time the combat engineers with the Rock 9 flamethrower are going to probably throw an incendiary grenade over the wall. Ooh, they're going to have a little poke around, and they spy danger. See a Maxim with its trousers down, and get burnt alive as a result.
Actually, a lot of retreats going on the right-hand side there. Looks like Devon will be able to regain control of that territory. On the left-hand side, there's a fierce battle going on between Helping Hands and Nagano right now. Hands invested in the 251 half-track from his tier 2 and has upgraded it with the flamethrowers, doing huge model damage to a conscript squad that has to retreat. The engineers pull off the retreat as well, and Hands is just left to flame to his heart's content, and I don't see any mines. My god.
Flaming to your heart's content. Indeed, as the conscript just about ekes out a survival pass there. Here comes the conscript to fake an AT grenade. No, it's not a fake. They have teched it. Indeed, Nagano making great use of his conscript platforms. He does escape with all squads intact there, so the heavy manpower investment has not been lost. 240 manpower intact. He's now going to be trying to...
Look at the damage. Look at the damage from this.
Oh, look at the damage from that. Scotch with the AT gun to the rescue.
Yeah, that's some good team play there, helping your opponent out. Back on Dev M's side, things are getting heated up here. An incendiary grenade to try and clear out the Maxim's guards. Very low.
Oh, First Grenadiers couldn't do the shot over the shoulder as they ran away there. No MLG, no scope for them.
Do you know, I can probably consider that Hans's dive with the 251 there was a worthwhile investment because they took so much of the map and they're able to get their fuel on their side, which if Devon can do another kind of pushback over Scotch, they will get double fuel. Hans, of course, going to invest straight back into the 251 again. I think we can expect
30 fuel, 90 munitions, and it was, for the damage they did, I know they didn't wipe a squad, but it was worth it because they've got a fuel back. No, they stole it off their enemy rather. Devon was able to take his back. Look at the fog in the mist as the ISG looms and fires to death from above.
See Nagano is trying to take advantage of the 251 not being on the field for Hans, but Hans with his MG42 has a very wide arc of fire, is able to suppress multiple squads, and he's having to do this manually as well. It's worth pointing out.
Really could get out. So close. So many survivals for Hans have been so close in this game. The only thing he's lost so far is the 251 half track. Grenadiers behind a position of vantage there. 251 being pushed away by the threat of AT grenades. But surely the AT gun of Scotch not too far behind in tow. Elsewhere in the south, we can see that Devem again is battling back for these positions. We'll work a battle there. I know who wins that one if they linger. The Stern Pioneers.
Yeah, and he's just caught Scotch laying a mine as well. He's already been caught off guard by that once, so we want to see the minesweepers upgraded on the Stern Pioneers. What was the vehicle that Devem got here? He's going to build his Panzerschwerer headquarters, which will unlock his heavy vehicles to be used this game.
There you go, he's going to be looking to try and get that very good OKW Panzer IV, the late war variant with a better up-armoured hull.
Great battlefield out there, seeing the Volksgrenadiers clearing up models all over the central VP. I think the map is starting to take shape now. It looks like Axis will be dominating in the mid and west. And we'll see allies taking their fuel and resources on the right. They're starting to bunker down now. We're in for a good game, eh?
We are. This has all the makings of a classic at the moment. It's been so frenetic in all the right ways so far. There's been a high skill threshold, and any small mistakes have been punished, and they have not been big mistakes at all. Here comes a cohesive tactical battle from Devon, a 3-squad combo. Going to burst its way around the bushes and try and take out these Maxims, but Scotch is mustering, and he has gathered tempo, so Devon has to get behind the wall. Oh no, he's found the Maxim out before it could set up. Not bad there. Here comes probably a field artillery barrage from the Zis. Is it firing up? Couldn't do it in time. Could not do it in time.
Well, smoke actually just came down there from
the ISG, of course. So Devon using his own support weapon to allow his units to push in on Scotch's position.
It's really nice. Of course, smoke breaking the line of sight, meaning the Maxim can't suppress. It's great for Devon to be able to flank through it.
Look at Hans as well, buddying up with his teammates, helping him out there in his time of need. Here comes a field artillery barrage overshooting for now. Grenadiers diverge and forsake that point for now. Betsu Combat is a very vital squad for repairs late game, but it could get taken out if they linger too long here against those Sturmgewehrs.
What I really love about this game is just the multi-functionality of units. You know, you've got these AT guns that are also able to fire shots as a barrage. It's beautiful, what you can do with your units.
Conscripts here in a pitched engagement against up-gunned Grenadiers with those LMG-42s, Veteran C2, so better offensive accuracy, and they're just demolishing conscripts, forcing them away left, right and centre. Here comes another field artillery barrage, this time on the MG42, pushing that into a difficult predicament. What's this? Is this the recon overflight of Helping Hands, allowing both players to spot better?
It is, yeah. Recon, of course, they're going to be able to see into the base of their opponents here and get a little bit of an idea of the teching. There they see tier 3, and they're going to know that the T-70 is coming up for allies fairly soon. Scotch's weapon of choice.
Oh, yes. And Devem is sticking at trying to deny the fuel in the south. Feels like Helping Hands has got a great position. The Schwerpanzer headquarters is also watching over the centre in a little way. And here's the little tank mech. Good.
I think it deserves more than that, to be honest. T-70 is a powerhouse for the Soviets. Such a common pick because it's so good at versatilely dealing with infantry.
The backbone of the Soviet army, quite frankly. It's the rest of the army is a setup for the T-70 play, in my opinion, because the T-70 is one of the units that can obviously kill, unlike a lot of the Soviet conscript builds and such. Good sweeping there, allowing the French Grenadiers to flank and possibly take out the fuel. And here comes the Panzer IV of Helping Hands. This is the command tank with its auras of defensive capability.
Yeah, and of course, with the command tank, we see Helping Hands has picked Blitzkrieg Doctrine. So this is going to give him some units to help his tanks fight a little bit better, and also in the late game, he'll be able to call in Ju-87s as an off-map tank, anti-tank strafes.
Absolutely. And here it comes in a... Oh, interesting camouflage denoting a fearsome outlook. Eye of the Tiger taking out an entire squad there. And about to force away another with a horrific Helping Hands vintage overshot there versus Nagano. Probably took out a command panther somewhere on some ice.
So Hands is not content with the retreat of the Soviets. He's going to give chase. No survivors. Oh.
There you go. Combat engineers, I'll tell you what, of Scotch have done a wonderful job of keeping the territories. There's Devem's aforementioned Panzer IV, the OKW variant, very strong vehicle. And the Axis are on the resurgence. If you look on the tactical map at the bottom left of your screen, they are just pushing in all over the map. Allies are quaking in their boots right now. This has been found out. T-70's pushed away, trying to get some shots in. But can they?
This is very risky of Devem because we know for a fact there are a lot of mines in this area. One of them is there, and the minesweepers are here, fortunately. So that mine will not go off for the tank.
Oh, God, can they button? Can they button? No, they cannot. Button, of course, meaning the LMGs fire at the vision slits of the tank, causing them to button up. It slows the tank down.
Now, actually, Scotch has to be careful here because whilst he's holding the right-hand side, Nagano got pushed right back into his base and has been left with relatively little in this game, and that means Hands could come in from the left flank. So the game is pretty much being held, I think, by Scotch at this moment. He's got a lot of work to do and a lot of defensive positions. A lot of defensive traps to lay.
He has. LMG Grenadiers vaulting into the trench. They fear no man. They can try and get a rifle nade off. No, they're not. They're going to run away. Very valid tactic by Hands.
Got the Sturmovik.
Oh, what was that incendiary grenade there? Taking out the guard. Here goes. Right, the Sturmovik flying tank with a very accurate fighting.
To be honest, I don't think that's going to cause many problems for Hands. I'm not really sure why that was called down because there's nothing pushing that side of the field. Normally it's used, to support a big push, but this is going to be nothing more than a nuisance. Although what's Hands doing here?
Hands is taking his AT gun into the enemy base. He's going for an annihilation win. This is audacious from the Englishman. I can't believe it. It's not worked. What?
It's I mean, it's a Soviet AT gun. Maybe Nagano pleaded with him over open voice chat. Please give me back my AT gun.
No,
and he's delivered it.
Could have been a misclick, perhaps. It's a very, very tense game. Helping Hands or James, as his friends might call him, he is focusing so fiercely on this battle in front of you for his very life. He is a professional computer gamer. He's a streamer. And for him, $5,000 is fantastic. That'll help him, you know, in so much in his career. So he's got tunnel vision at times, and you will see that. A lot of stress for the players today.
Nice grenade. This is a great grenade from Scotch. Look at the infantry models that died then. 2 squads wiped.
2 squads wiped indeed. That was a nuclear pineapple there. The Panzer IV is vengeful for his fallen comrades.
That's a really, really big hit. I don't think that Scotch is able to handle it on this side. He's up against the Panzer IV and the Command Panzer IV, but here's the T-34 85 variant from Nagano. This came just in the nick of time. So much work has to be done.
Does Devem's taking the point, so he may have just lost 2 squads there, but seemingly he's not in that shabby of a position. It's crazy to me. Just, by the way, killed one of the combat engineers that wasn't going to retake the T-70. No follow-up at this point. He has been pushed away. T-70 in a great position. Faust threatening. 3-man squad remains. There you go. Gets the shot.
Oh, really? Nagano actually gets his AT gun back. I think that's a real mistake by Hans. However that happened, giving that AT gun back is, you know, such an error. Now he has to fight against some AT, so he can't be using the 251 as aggressively. That's not upgraded, by the way, so I believe he's been using that to reinforce his troops on the field and keep a strong front line.
Nice G's, just doing great work of peppering their opponents. There's a Stern Pioneer with their superior repair times. They are a jack of all trades, that unit, so they are given a better repair time because they have to do so much in the battle for OKW. Here it goes, they're clumped up. Ooh, I knew that would be bad, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. Got clipped on the trench. The T-34-85 missing woefully. Panzer IV for OKW is such a tank. Tank, of course, being an adjective used by computer gamers to describe something tank-like.
Very, oh, I was about to say, lucky retreat for the Maxim, but the ISG honed in a shot. Now it's having to be recrewed by the engineers. Those engineers, of course, are going to be needed on the field to repair the only tanks that are holding the Soviets in this game right now. Holding the right fuel is absolutely essential. But as we get 20 minutes in, have a look at the resources. Do we think we're going to see any of the late game tanks come up?
Yeah, more than likely. This game has legs. If you look at the victory point count, it's very even. Panzer IV's in jeopardy in the top of your picture there. Get Mortar getting forced away. Could have been a lot worse. There's no Su-85s out at the moment. There's a Katusha out for Scotch, though. Where's the Katusha heading with its first barrage?
Hard to say. We'll find out where that goes in a second.
There you go. It's firing now. Straight into the centre of the map. Machine guns. Watch on in peril. First grenadier needs to get out of there. Oh, what a barrage. MG's taken out almost. Oh, there you go. Last little rocket. Got a shot in.
It's a lucky retreat. But, of course, under the cover of the Katusha, they are able to take and hold that second VP. And Allies, I think, given how unlucky they've been in engagements in this game, still hold a decent section of the map and resources. So, no signs of losing, at least.
For either team at the moment, it's such a fair game that you just see on your screens 380 versus 310 victory points. So, all is to play for in this game 1 of a best-of-5 semi-final in the largest cash prize tournament in Company of Heroes history. What's this? Is this more?
Oh my god.
It is indeed. It's more Sturmovic's flying tanks from the skies above. First grenadier need to run. You need to hide.
Oh, it got the squad!
Oh, you cannot hide! You cannot hide from the eyes of both. The Sturmovic getting the kill.
Oh no! Oh, chasing the retreat
skill there, Dan. I really thought that he piloted that plane with accurate precision.
Use the force, Luke. Yeah, I mean, actually, the Sturmovics, they don't normally close squad kills like that, but of course, you have to be careful of that kind of thing, and the added benefit is that they're so loud.
They are, Dan. I can barely hear you out here. This is AE reporting from the Western Front, Alliance of Defiance. And Stemovics are deafening. Flying around the camera, of course, they're very close to our point of sound intake. Amazing RTS, of course. And it has its quirks. The more you play it, the more you learn those quirks. You only need like 8 years of your life to learn it full. Very deep game, of course. T70's on, it's on capping mode there.
Oh, recon mode for this.
Okay.
And of course, I'm just showing the line of sight at the moment. You can see how
lovely.
far it can see. So the T70 is a great spotting unit. And of course, we just see a cheeky Riketten from DevM open up. Can he get the first hit? Riketten, what are you doing? Take a shot!
No! No. And here comes the Riketten. Sorry, here comes the rocket launcher, the Katusha. Where's it firing? Where are these rockets hitting?
Do you know what? I don't know. Oh, they're over here, actually.
Oh, of course. We all know that Scotch hates trees and sheds. He's a big hater. The tree and the shed, they have to go. Every time I play the game. That's a French accent for those of you that are wondering. French, Russian, similar. Don't worry about it.
Oh my. 80 gun set up in a great position here from Helping Hands. Hands as well, by the way, just unlocked the Ju-87s, so he can get snares on those vehicles. You might call that down. We've got a second T-34-85 on the field for Nagano. Things are starting to heat up.
The rare T-170. Panzer IV command tank with very inaccurate fire. Very low velocity round. I don't know why it's got quite such a trailblazing effect, but regardless, Vet 3 guards watch on as they keep the centre in Franco-Russo hands. T-34-85 is absolutely fearless. Look at its marches into enemy lines. Tanks watch on. They have got the shots, and we've got a damaged engine thanks to the Panzer Faust. This could be one dead Russian tank.
This is really bad because I think Nagano feels like he has to commit here. And I think that was a bad decision. He also isn't penetrating the Command Panzer IV from the frontal armour there. So he needs to get out. The Su-85 with the AT gun support has come in to try and help even the engagement. One shot from this Su-85 could penetrate, but does not get it due to lack of vision.
Nice telemine there. It was something unexpected. We couldn't see it on our screens, and he certainly couldn't see it not having the minesweeper over there. He's got his Pioneer has a flamethrower, by the way. So that's not important. I was talking about the flamethrower on the Soviet combat engineer. T-34-85 reversing away. Let's check out some of the other armies down what DevM got right now as he's Panther IV backing up. Virginia.
1 second though, because we do have Ju-87s called in from Helping Hands, so all of the vehicles in this area do need to get out of the cone, the circle radius of fire that those units will strafe. And just remind me, what were you just about to say?
It was a completely invalid and useless point. It is in fact way more interesting to talk about the Junkers 87, otherwise known as the Stuka. In this case, in a more late war anti-tank role, aka ground attack fire, rather than the early war Stuka dive bomb you may have seen in films such as Stuka 2, Stuka Boogaloo, and Dunkirk.
Stuka Boogaloo.
Oh yeah, one of my favourite films.
Long hits from the AT guns here. T-70 on Vet 3, very, very valuable unit for the Soviets right now. They need that, I think, for the later games, so they can spot for units like the ISU. And if that unit has good spotting, it's very, very lethal. So they need to keep that unit alive in this game.
There's Hans threatening at all times with a rifle grenade, but in this case he eats a guard's grenade and is forced away from that central victory point. But it does not matter because the guards now live in the central victory point in the form of ashes.
This ISG's been a beast in this game. It's had quite a few wipes. In Panzer IV there, the Panthers on the field. What did we just have on the field for Helping Hands? He's gone for the Brumbar.
The Sturmpanzer via Brumbar. The Professor of Destruction. This thing is an artist. Where people paint with small strokes, it's got a huge brush. And it's like, happy little tree here, gone. Squad over here, gone.
Yeah. He's not the painter, the eraser of the anti-brush.
Our foes have 300 points remaining.
80 gun. Oh, this is a good position. This is a really good position. Actually, both shots, the Su-85 and the AT gun miss. And again miss. This is one of the problems, actually, when you've got your vehicles on the move.
The hit, and then the Command Panther came in. He's got a damaged gun. Here comes the Command Panther yet again. Su-85 recoils in terror. One more shot required. It's out of here.
Oh, slight overextension there from Scotch. Scotch is really struggling. Nagano's nowhere to be seen as he tries to get the right-hand side, but DevM completely uncontested with his armor loadout on the eastern side of Alliance of Defiance, and don't want to see that T-70 go down.
Not if you're a Scotch fan, as DevM is on the warpath. Panzer IV pushing in. Vet 3 T-70 could get taken out next. He changes his mind. He's going for a different target. There he goes. He sees T-70 again. It was hiding behind trees momentarily. He's coming once more. T-70.
He escaped.
Just about there. Felt like the great escape.
He escaped, and now the T-34-85 is coming over to try and deal with a very,
Guards
very
could
low...
take it out! PTRS, eat your heart out! Double guard squads take out the hero Panzer IV of DevM's army.
This is a cracking game. That looked like a really confident confident scenario for DevM. But
Nagano's combat engineers in the north there. I believe they just... one of them got wiped, yes. Oh no, they both escaped just barely. Vet 3 is surviving. There's a man in the chimney, Dan. Guards just jumped out of the chimney, possibly delivering presents. We do not know at this point. Command Panther, just such an amazing weapon of war. Here comes another T-34-85. There's a weapon of industrial warfare.
oh, Scotch is...
The enemy is encroaching on our
I feel like they're going to be saving for things like the IS-2, ISU, but they're very low on fuel income.
Oh, Katusha on the house there could be obliterating the MG. Indeed it does.
Nice use of the Katusha. Squad wipe with no chance of being recrewed there.
Taking out the Ziskin at maximum range elsewhere on the screen. T-34-85 and Command Panther going at it.
eyes to the enemy.
Nagano feeling a little bit confident there. I wouldn't be.
Ziskin was taken out at by hands in the centre. And it's all but duking out right now. Command Panther versus T-34. Folks, he's coming for the Faust cheekily. No, they've flanked this Vet 3. Maxim, it has to pick up the gun. Oh, there we go. Command Panther reversing away as the plane comes from the skies above.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that was a good call by Nagano, actually, because they need to suppress infantry in that area whilst they recap the fuel. Left side fuel completely negated. Plane goes down over the centre.
Here comes the Brombear, watching on. It's had a little bit of a nerve recently. Can still do some nice looping shots though, as you see there. Must say the Axis have really pushed down into the south at the moment. If we check out Scotch's army, Dan. Yep, see that he's not got much left. T-34-85 just holding the line at the moment. On the Alliance of the Defiance, it seems more like Triple Alliance is winning here.
I like that the Allies are still finding a lot of time to be aggressive here. That, of course, is really important. Do we have the Katusha firing right now? Yes, we do. It's firing on a critical defense position for Helping Hands, forcing him away, leaving the AT gun vulnerable. But, of course, the Panther, continual aggression on the right-hand side, means that all of these tanks are kind of sucked up into these engagements.
Very vital, because of course there is a victory point there, and right now there's a triple cap currently, almost. No, that's the fuel point. The victory point is in Allied hands. It's 2 versus 1 at the moment. Very even on victory points, though, it must be said. Here comes the Command Panzer IV with 30 infantry kills.
I think Hans plays this unit very well. Plays it in the right way as well. He's just kind of pushing infantry off the flanks. It's a great support unit for the support.
Oh, Sturmgewehrs, eat your heart out, dismantling those Ziskons. Here come the T-34-85s, the Panther command tank possibly overextending, going for the Su-85. This is a big moment here. We don't have any planes to spoil the party. It's true armour on armour action.
Yeah, not confident that pushing in with the Panther is a good idea.
Look at Nagano's tanks. They're all stacked up. He can't get out of there. Akanver for eating them alive. Oh, big shot goes in. Will the Command Panther take a shot from behind the bushes? Perhaps. No! Helping Hands with a fantastic manoeuvre. Pack 40 at max range. Great teamwork there by the Englishman.
Was that an overshot from this tank?
No, it was a Pack 40 shot from the north of your screen. Helping Hands save the day. What a fantastic shot there.
God, I was not expecting that shot.
That was cracking. Obel Soldaten duking out against Maxims. These guys have a lot of veterans. They seemingly don't care about machine guns.
Obel Soldaten very, very hard anti-infantry unit there. So it will be a focus point for Scotch to deal with. But really, actually, he's got to deal with these tanks because they're just causing so much havoc, pushing away the Maxims all the time. Is this a good flanking position? Just see that the Panzer IV got buttoned there.
Devem isn't doing bad flanking positions at the moment. He's making so much use of Alliance of Defiance. But here we go. The Command Panthers heavily hit here. T-3485 needs 2 big shots. First one bounces. It's still in jeopardy. Panzer IV is going to get around the rear now. Angles, there you go.
Well, it's not really a fan of the decision making because the last shot could be the end of this T-3485, and it is. Now the Su-85 is left in a position where it could be fousted by the Grenadiers of Helping Hands. Yes, it is. And is there a position now? Oh, it's just going to throw in the towel and GG.
Victory is ours.
Wow, what a game one. That was one for the ages. Top 5, top level 2 versus 2 game I've ever seen for certain because of the stakes that are at play. It was such high level.
It was a very high level game, and Helping Hands and DevM looking very strong. They look to be working together. They look to be playing their sides very, very well. Scotch did really well then, and what I'm surprised about is Nagano actually was the one that lost. Yeah, he lost out on his side. I think a few too many.
I think he lost out at the end there, but
well, you can see here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. KD. He was behind, I think, a little bit there, which is unusual. We normally
but Nagano was the conscript player. So Nagano went 96 for 213 because he was a conscript player. Scotch was the support weapon player, so 122 to 155. I would not say that either of those two guys had a particularly bad game up until the end. Those tank plays were not what was required at that point in time. Was that just amazing play from DevM and Hans? Do we have to put a negative spin on it? Can't we just say that DevM and Hans in that game were really good?
They were really good, but I think if we're being honest, we can say mistakes.
I don't think so. I disagree vehemently. I think they had a decent game, but I think Helping Hands and DevM had a fantastic game.
Well, we can be the beautiful team that agrees to disagree on that, but we will find out in Game 2 whether there is a weak link in this team of 4. Series of 4 players. I'm actually thinking, so this is a best of 5.
Yeah.
With the potential to see 5 very long games. Do you have any predictions at this point?
Predictions at this point? Based on that first game. Based on the fact that I thought OKW player in South shouldn't be quite that good versus a Soviet player in the South due to the build-up urban area. I think DevM seems a little bit scary today. Helping Hands also. That Hail Mary attack ground AT gun shot from the top of your screen, we couldn't see it on our screen because it was more than one screen width as you look at a map in Company Heroes, which to me indicates that Helping Hands must have been clicking on the very periphery of his cone of fire, which means it's like a 1 in 5 chance, possibly 1 in 3 chance, somewhere around there.
It's possible for the projectiles to travel the whole map on an overshot.
It is. It's attack ground overshots are scary.
If that connected by a chance, it's very.
But the tank was side on, in fairness, so you're pieing a little bit more pie. And to be fair to him, he got it. So I think
it was a great play. But it's going to be an interesting series. Nagano and Scotch, when they play Axis, I think they do better as Axis from what I've seen.
Completely.
Especially when they get on that sniper play. It's going to be very, very dangerous with sniper play. Let's have a look if we've got the next game available. And hope everybody here at the moment on the various channels that we're streaming to, Steam, YouTube, Twitch, are enjoying the games. The 2v2 Anniversary Classic. KOTU is free this weekend, and if you download it this weekend, it will be free forever. Plus the 75% off on all the DLC, so now is the best time ever to get into this game. If you like what you see, if you want to get involved and play in these tournaments yourself, go and do it.
If you're a returning player as well, we've got so many changes to the game coming. New commanders, we've got commander revamps, 10 commanders being changed significantly, not small changes, big changes. And also the USF are getting a much needed rework to make them more strategically pleasing. So so much going on in Company Heroes at the moment.
I'm very much looking forward to the rework, because when a faction gets changed, I think that's creates a lot of new stuff to talk about. There's a lot more to explore. And do you know what I really would like to see? I'd like to see a little bit of Brits reworked as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
They it was part of the commander changes, the small iterative changes coming through. Basically, the community guys that are coding this or developing it, like Astra, like, I wonder if we get this one as well. So basically, for example, Royal Engineers will have a snare coming, which makes Brits so much better.
This is a really important topic because Brits are the faction that kind of lacking a snare outside of a commander choice. So they have suffered a little bit, which is why we don't always see them all the time in tournaments. Nevertheless, a powerful faction in every other aspect. So they just need a little bit of a tweak there. But they used to be one of the strongest factions in the game, even without that snare.
We have a quick couple of minutes break until the next game. We have got the next game loaded, but we'll just rest our voices for a moment. And
I think that's a good idea.
Let's see you in a couple of minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Get yourselves a drink, and we'll be right back.
Panzer HQ here.
New machine gun crew, ready and waiting.
Paratroopers standing by for air assault missions.
Victory is ours.
Hello there, and welcome to this historic second game of this best of 5 semi-final in the Anniversary Classic. You're looking at Scotch's Wehrmacht, Nagano's OKW as they face.
They're going to be facing the winners of the previous round, Helping Hands, this time playing as the Soviets. DevM is going to be playing as his best faction, USF.
In the south as well. Does that mean he's up against... Oh, he's up against Nagano this time. Okay. Nagano sometimes is the stronger of the two, but Scotch has been known to carry as well. Nagano is certainly the most feared 1-versus-1 competitor to come from Russia.
Yeah. If you're a Company Heroes 1 fan, you would love this matchup on the right-hand side, DevM and Nagano.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a classic there. Interestingly, DevM locked in his commander immediately. Heavy cavalry company. The pride of this commander being the M26 Pershing. What do you reckon?
Do USF have any other commanders?
Yeah, well, do you know what? I still really like tactical support. I think the Calliope was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but no offense, you two have just become a caster now. When you last played the game, there were other commanders, and now it's just heavy cavalry.
But you know me. I like rockets.
Rocket man. Indeed. Rear echelons pushed away by the superior firepower of the Stern Pioneers. Riflemen are surrounding them. DevM is a rush player. He likes to swarm you with superior aggression. Stern Pioneers going down the chimney for Christmas. Rifleman going behind green cover to fire them with his M1 Garants. Probably the best carbine or rifle system of the war, to be honest. It was had a great 10-round mag capacity and just a great, semi-auto
I'm loving what DevM's doing here. Just hops out of the building for a second to try and lure the Volksgrenadiers out of their cover position, then hops back into the building. But of course, they have found another little ledge to fire from. So, DevM winning his engagements, bringing some reinforcements up on the right-hand side to deal with the Stern Pioneers. Pretty tense on this side, actually, but let's not ignore what Helping Hands and Scotch are doing.
I'm sorry, I'm such a I'm such a Company Heroes 1 nerd. Can we ignore what Scotch and Helping Hands are doing? I just care about DevM Nagano. Right. I'll cast a 1-versus-1 in the south, in the industrial area. You go up north, yeah? Sorry, dudes. I am a Co-1 nerd, and here we go. Riflemen are swarming around. Volksgrenadiers, watch on in terror. They have to retreat. Nagano has been forced away.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice. I mean, that's a clear win for DevM, I think, on that side. Getting the Stern Pioneers is the really important part. The Rifleman now keeps switching the buildings. He's waiting until his 5-man squad can get in there so he can retreat the lower health squad back to base. Great play from DevM. He's going to get full control of the right-hand side. Can Hans get the fuel on the left for a great allied start?
How many Maxims does Hans have now?
3 Maxims. Yeah. Unos, dos, tres.
He likes Maxims. Indeed. He does. They go rat-a-ta, they suppress, they run around like new mothers pushing their babies in their prams.
Never noticed this. They put the gates there. It's pretty nice. Oh,
that's beautiful. This map is fantastic.
I wonder why someone hangs their washing there next to the grave.
The map maker got lazy at that point. Oh, detail on the peripheries, windmill, grave, washing line.
Just insert what we like. But Engineers here with the flamethrower upgrade. This is a great tool for clearing units in cover or garrisons. Of course, able to burn out any units there with great efficiency. And there's a really good working here from Hans, actually. He's working up with the Maxims to provide the suppression, then we get the burst from the flames to push the units away. And actually means that there's nothing to contest Hans, just moving his way slowly up the map. If he captures this point here, he will cut off the resources on the left-hand side from his opponent, Scotch. So good play there by helping Hans, pushing all the way up into his enemy's territories. Meanwhile, DevM is on the insurgents. However, his riflemen have a bit of a tricky spot through all that Mauser fire. Maxim nearly, well, is indeed flanked. It was actually targeting the ready, but it's only in a Pioneer that's flanking, so they'll be able to just soft pedal away, helping into some great play there. Scotch, I tell you, he's not having the best day, the Frenchman. No, I think it's hard, though, to play up against Maxims, especially when they're commanded by Hans. He's got great positioning. He's so used to playing with, like, Austere as well. You know, every time he lays something down, you know it's...
Oh, yeah.
It's just in the right spot. It's hard to play against.
It really is. He's a master of his craft when he's on form. And it's DevM doing the old DevM Arenio here. We've got the Lieutenant battling, and the Lieutenant hearkens the call of the AA half-track, of course. 50% complete already.
Nice choice. Very nice choice. We do have Mechanized coming up for Nagano, so maybe he'll provide a counter to that, either the Lukes or the Puma. But the AA half-track is a great area denial tool, great suppression platform.
It is, it really is. Reverses its way around the battlefield, denying area and being a tool. Well said. Rifleman, change course direction. Here comes the Flamer half-track from Scotch. Well, it soon will be. There you go. He's locked in immediately. Grenadiers backpedaling before they're suppressed. Green cover helping them retreat. Stern Pioneer, a tired situation there. Nagano needs to get out of there. DevM with a huge tactical battle group. That's 13 men forcing their way into combat. Incendiary grenade goes off. That could be a bad one.
Nice incendiary grenade. Very nice. Here's the AA half-track. You know what we were saying earlier, actually, about Nagano and Scotch maybe being off to a little bit of a rough start. Well, actually, they're holding double fuel. They're plus 30 income at the moment. Allies still getting a lot of the fuel resource in thanks to the strategic points they have. But,
oh, here it comes. I can see little yellow line that Hawkins the call, and there you go. He's actually driving front ways. Maybe he's going to drive past them and hit a mine. Fantastic work by DevM. He hits mines better than everybody. He's a Portuguese prodigy of hitting mines.
He's even the best at hitting mines.
That's right. AE is not a fanboy. No bias confirmed. Best at hitting mines. Honestly, he throws himself so elegantly in the air.
This is a danger situation right now. The Volksgrenadiers do have Faust thanks to the Mechanized Regiment being up. There's 2 Volksgrenadier squads. All I think he can do is maybe get out of the...
One in, still alive, just about.
He doesn't have the resources for it. He doesn't.
He does. The fire from the Volksgrenadier finished it off. DevM was excellent at exploding his AA half-track there. Fantastic work by the Portuguese player.
Of course, did actually get that second Faust off before we called it, but...
You did it with rifle fire. Small arms, of course, does work against these lightly armed half-tracks, etc. Just takes a while to penetrate. Lieutenant's in a little bit of a dire situation here. Stern Pioneers pushing them away.
Really unfortunate. Hans has been really unsuccessful on this side. He's trying to use the barrages at the moment while squads are suppressed to get those squad wipes on clumped units. DevM here, though, is trying to fight with just kind of squads all over the place. There's no real strategy. I think he's just throwing squad after squad onto the front line, hoping for a breakthrough.
I think, as you say, he's just trying to slow Scotch's march, but Scotch has manhandled him there. The air half-track was not well played. It didn't even reverse into combat. I don't know what it was thinking. Hit the mine. No mine sweeper, of course. Rear echelon was not within sight, although they do have the sweeper. You can see the leading squad, even though they have the bazooka emblem. That means they must have built the sweeper after they picked up a bazooka, which means DevM was not thinking of mines enough.
Yeah, I think as soon as you hit that mine, you have to know what your opponent's doing and invest. Let's have a look at this Flamer 251 here, coming to deal with the Maxims. It is a direct counter to what Helping Hands has on the field, and the AT gun is not in a position for this right now.
No. Hands 2, Luke's as well. He's going to be out for Nagano. Oh, good shot there. It wasn't in position until the 251 moved into its arc of fire, seemingly. And here it is, the Panzer II on the battlefield for Nagano. Lovely little tank here. Maintains its viability throughout the entirety of the battle, much like the actual tank did in World War II. Of course, designed in the mid-1930s and seen combats on every front the Axis fought on. Well, the Western Axis at least. Oh, that could have been a spicy infiltration grenade lobbed there by Nagano. Nagano has now chosen... come on, there we go. Helping Hands 251 hard track in peril for Scotch. Nagano, of course, has chosen the Panther Command Tank Special Operations Commander in 99.9 recurring of his games. The other game, he misclicked.
It's such a good commander, though. This has always been a favourite for OKW. You don't have to build... oh, look at these, look at these.
Ooh, infiltration grenades. I like them.
DevM somehow managed to avoid that as well.
Oh!
You know, bear in mind he can't see these units. You know, it's like
we do actually have double up in cheat detection today. We have Relic server-side cheat detection, but also the referees are in Discord with the players watching their games. Little tidbit for you there, so you know that everything's legit. Not that we'd ever cast aspersions against such a renowned player as DevM, but just so the fans know that whoever is the winner of this 10 grand by RTS standards is legit, and you know, can't say fairer than that.
It'd be unfair to say to the players it's entirely for cheating, because of course it's in the situation of drops and things as well.
Yeah, who knows what could happen. They could be attacked by Velociraptors, and now we have it recorded. 251 in the north, their Grenadier is swarming around, so it's a good position using the garrison as a cover and firing through it with jets of molten flame. I don't know what kind of flame there are. Better than frozen flame, that's for certain.
Wow, it's a real stalemate on the field. It's good to see that the Allies have been gaining ground. They've got the units that are kind of swaying the territories a little bit. The T-70, very nimble units, but the Stuka Zufus has been called in, and this is going to start... I imagine this is going to go over to Hans' side and start picking off at the 80 gun and Maxims.
Oh, 251 hot tracks in peril. It's going to get taken out with it. Oh, it popped smoke. Will it be able to reverse out of that? Oh, just whizzed over its side there. That was an escape.
Great play from Scotch. Great use of the smoke. And of course, that
just select that to get it.
I think he had Blitzkrieg selected before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's able to utilize the smoke. Otherwise, that'd be very, very quick micro.
Oh, 2 clicks within a matter of seconds. That's StarCraft levels of skill. I can't believe he did that. Amazing.
Oh no!
Firing into the west. Where's it going to hit? Down on the Maxims.
Yeah, the T-70 was actually so close to it and didn't even realize.
Oh, Rakettenwerfer.
Cheeky.
Nice. Cheeky.
Oh,
good follow up here. T-70 in peril. Has it got the line of sight? It's now an attack ground. Can't do it. Forced to retreat from... well, it is a rifleman, yeah. Don't want to linger. Yeah, it's a rifleman. Getting too used to conscripts on the battlefield. I was going to say, it's only a conscript. But no, it's a rifleman. Very accurate fire, even on the move.
It's true, probably the most aggressive.
Definitely.
Starting game infantry, I'd say.
Other than Stern Pioneer, but that's not really infantry. It's meant to be a working unit, even though it's pretty much a Terminator. I do love the design, though, but I like the fact that they're jack of all trades, and so you have to really be careful about losing. Riflemen getting forced away here by vanilla Frost Grenadier fire.
Oh, here we go with the infiltration grenades. Lethal DevM. Sensible decision to get away from that.
Yeah. Hard retreat, though. He'll get this fuel back now. There you go. It's like a firing squad. Come on, boys! A rapid minute! If they were Tommy, so it would make more sense, that joke. Never mind.
Oh, grenades going in there.
Oh, we felt the heat off that one.
Again.
What we got? Is it a light artillery barrage? From the, well, field artillery barrage rather from the
I
Zisk?
think so.
I heard it. I did. I'm sure of it. Somewhere. Never mind. Maybe it's a T-70 firing.
Honestly, what a battlefield at the moment. Hans is trying to take the mid and left, whilst Devem is just brute forcing his way through the right-hand side. You've got the Echelons providing the AT against the Luke. Slowly, Nagano is being forced back. Echelon's going to get into the building here to get a vantage height sight point.
Oh, they fired fantastically through the window there, backwards and then forwards, and hit the superstructure almost. Oh,
I think they're actually targeting something else on the...
I don't know what they're doing. That guy's drunk, clearly. You'll be firing bazookas from an enclosed environment anyway. You're going to knock your ears out or something. Anyway, Scotch is on the offensive at the moment.
I think Scotch is still playing very well. The key thing for me is that he's still got this unit here. Stuka is firing now, and I think it's going to hit these riflemen.
Well dodged. Well met, sir. And the rifleman, I don't know if that was intended or luckily dodged that. Must be said, by the way, Allies now have 2/3 of the map.
What do we have here? So Scotch teched all the way up to Battle Phase 3.
Can't believe it.
Oh, well. And we know that Battle Phase 3, of course, means he can get his Tier 4 building up. And that will unlock either Panther Brummbau or Panzerwerfer.
Can't believe it. In a team game, we're going to see Tier 4. This is incredible stuff, Jeffrey. Sorry, Dan.
It is incredible. And what juicy unit from Tier 4 do you think we would like to see?
7 Panzerwerfers. He's going to have to try and get rid of some of his units in order to get there.
Yes, I agree. 7 Panzerwerfers. Because, quite frankly, what could Helping Hands do?
He'd be helpless, Hans.
If he had hands.
Indeed. Anyway, Stern Pioneers doing a good job there, actually. Not too bad. Tell you what, they're going to be outgunned very shortly, though. Bet 2 rifles with the Browning automatics, finding an angle, getting round the cover, and forcing their way. Panzer II comes into the situation where they have got bazookas to contend with, so it can't linger for too long. Major's now out for Devem, by the way, so he'll soon have artillery at his disposal should he need it. And it will, of course, possibly hearken the call of the Sherman, because he may not want to wait for the Pershing, but let's face it, he probably will wait for the Pershing.
Nice defensive play. Another AT gun comes in there. There's the smoke from Scotch. We've seen him use that before. A ground attack is what is needed. It just misses, but great idea from Scotch to give that a try.
Another intense firefight in the south here as Devem is forced away en masse. And look at the clever play there, by the way. Everybody's retreating a full health Veterancy 2 rifleman because it was a losing situation, so you always maintain the manpower. What did you see in the stats, Dan?
Nagano is winning those engagements hard. He's getting a lot of veterancy off of Devem, and Devem's losing heavily in the manpower front there. Doesn't look so good for Devem, actually, when you see it from the stats point of view.
Isn't Devem playing USF? Doesn't he have something that his commander gives him late game? If he hasn't had a great game, there's an ability, and everybody knows it is, of course, the smoke.
Combined arms.
Combined arms and smoke. It's all about combined arms and smoke, that late game potential.
No, of course, we are talking about the M26 Pershing, the, as we referred to it earlier, the pride of Heavy Cavalry Company. Brilliant tank.
Yeah. It's an extremely good tank, and it's very good at its job, as are the Browning automatics. Destroying the... Oh, he lost the squad there! Nagano, what are you thinking? Here comes the Stukas of Fus, though! I think... No, there was something else firing that sounded awfully a lot like it to me, at least at that point in time.
Stukas of Fus is ready, though. Timing is there.
I just assumed it would be firing. You know, infiltration grenades are going to try and do the job.
Oh, I love that.
They don't do it.
Balls of steel moving forwards rather than backwards. Can he clear up the last Fox Grenadier squad? Echelons in the building with the bazookas trying to push away the Lukes. There's the Stuka barrage we were looking for, but there is no retreat by Devem. Nothing gets caught off guard. Devem's got a lot to manage here, but he's managing it so well.
Ridiculous squad management there. How does he do it? He can't keep getting away with this, as Nagano's probably asking in Russian. And he is.
He got every single squad out of that engagement, and he's won, and he's got the territory.
What was that? Was that play real? How does one do that? When I play Company Heroes, it doesn't look anything like that. That's for certain. His units do what he wants them to at the same time in the right order.
We should give out a this Kotu stream may not be indicative of real gameplay experience, unless you have godlike micro.
Devem started playing this game in 2007. He got a free demo in a Portuguese PC gaming magazine, and he was 7 years old at the time. He's been playing, he's now 22. So what you need, guys, is a time machine. That's what we've discovered in this community, unfortunately. Hans and Nagano and Scotch aren't bad players either, and they're having very interesting battles elsewhere. Just that we...
No, their battle's more spread out, and I actually quite like the dynamic we've got going on. We've got two 1v1 heavyweights on the right-hand side trying to battle each other over a very small part of land, and then you've got Helping Hands and Scotch who are giving each other a very respectable run for money on the mid and left. It's a good game. Brumba out on the field for Scotch.
Le Professeur of Destruction for Scotch, and it's tracks give it away onto the battlefield, but we've just had the Jackson out, so a nice counter.
I like the Jackson. And a Jackson is a very sensible choice because the infantry of the USF is very strong right now. I don't really feel like they need the work power of the Sherman. Nagano's trying to get those infiltration grenades off. He hasn't landed a successful one this game.
No, seemingly not. That's what I said when you asked me who might win the series. I can sometimes tell when a player is playing at that extreme top level. And that doesn't mean Devem does it every time. Sometimes he has his off days, GCS for example. But today, he ain't missing a shot.
Oh, we could see potential wipe. Stuka. It's actually on the retreat path there.
Hit the major a little bit, but that's not the intended target. Jackson's now watching over.
Well, you know what, let's give a little bit of love to Helping Hands here, who is building a lot of Maxims. 4 Maxims, 2 AT guns and guards. His objective is to suppress Button and blast the hell out of it with an AT gun.
Is that why we are naturally watching those engagements very much? Because they're very machine gun heavy. We've got like Devem and Nagano going at it with incredible infantry play in the south. And then, meanwhile, in Maximville, here comes the Jackson though.
Tilt down a little bit. The Jackson long-range anti-tank destroyer, and very mobile, very high penetration. And you see Devem there making use of the off-map smoke barrage to protect himself against any AT from the Ghana and Scotch. Good play. Ooh, Lieutenant in a little bit of trouble there on the retreat.
It is. It looks like it'll survive though, thanks to those barrels. Barrels nearly got hit by the bazookas there. 3 LMG Grenadiers takes position and fires upon the retreating guard squad, so a lot of buttoning is possible in this game. We are, of course, for Helping Hands waiting for the ISU 152, which I believe is a 13 CP tank command points, of course, gained by veterancy and experience in this game, rather. So every bit of damage you're doing, you're getting experience, which gives you command points. That's how the commander structure works. And Helping Hands is slowly getting himself towards that. He's certainly got the fuel and manpower saved. Some might say he's floating, but he's floating with intent.
We've still got so many VPs left. 288 for the Allies, 382 for the Axis right now. And as we're coming up to this stage of the game where players build up their resources and bring out the heavyweights, we could see this game produces a lot of it, especially when you get that ISU on the field. A long-range anti-infantry beast. But I don't think Nagano and Scotch have the counters. They don't have the Elephant or the Activa. So where do you see this game going if that unit hits the field?
Well, the Command Panther will certainly come out at this point, and then Scotch has the JU-87, so it'll all be about trying to take out the ISU, because you cannot survive in the centre when that thing is on the battlefield. Jackson, meanwhile, could be... Oh, big shot in, one more required. Will it get it? Nice rocket fire. Can't go back the way he came, that's for certain.
He's going to take a guess shot.
Oh! Yes, he gets it! What a guess shot! That was ridiculous! That was like an iron cannon of days of yore. He found him! Deep within lines, and although the Command Panther's on, it's on with a resigned kind of expression on its face of, Jesus Christ, what am I up against?
Yeah, he knew he had to just ground attack. It's important to tell anyone, I mean, you know, that he couldn't see that unit. He used a ground attack, a manual function of the unit to make that shot. It's very, very good skill. Here come the special operations artillery flares, which provide sight so that Nagano can see through the fog of war to what his opponent has. They need to make use of that recon at the moment and start getting map control back.
Pintle Mound trying to gun down these riflemen, but they are experienced veteran units, and they're in medium cover right now, so it's decreased received accuracy. Rear echelons with an ambush, saving Private Ryan, eat your heart out. That's a trap! And like Boss says, as his entire fleet comes under a Star Destroyer attack, rear echelon fire. Meanwhile, mines being laid in Maximville, which we're not casting today. It's not the Alliance or Defiance, it's just the Defiance side of the map. No Alliance, just Defiance. It is rather boring relative to the South. The South has been insane, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Nagano versus Devon, the 1 versus 1 we've been casting, has been amazing.
I'm not even going to say it's a shame. Oh, look at this. He's going to get the infiltration grenades over the back. Devon knew!
He must... There's an audio cue, surely.
There is a little bit, but he can't really see those units. He maybe detects it from this.
His rear echelon's there.
From this
Sorry,
side.
he can't see them.
But he would have just caught that. It looks like Devon himself has teched up to grenades now, so he can now throw them back, and this is going to add that extra layer of confusion to Nagano.
That's interesting. Instead of getting the Pershing out ASAP, he's throwing nuclear pineapples. Did the Brumbear disappear? Oh, we've been asked in chat.
No, the Brumbear is still here. The Brumbear has been very active on the left-hand side. Only 2 kills, but it has been trying to contest the Maxims.
In Boringsville, it's been reading a book, it's had its feet up, watching Maxims shoot people.
Let's not polish a turd. It's been dull on that side
on that
of the
side
map.
of the map. Yeah. So we're going to go back over to Action Streets. Sorry about this, guys. See you later.
But things are about to heat up because the ISU is going to be on the field very soon, and then we'll see more static play with that. But
oh, that was a thing. Brumbear did a shoot there.
I guess the important thing is that there's so many different styles to play this game.
What's it doing there? Oh, nice. That was almost really nice.
Wow.
And we do know in the action area of the map, nothing's happening right now. They have relinquished their position for the time being. Mainly Nagano's had enough, and he's going to try and focus on the centre and try and dominate that central victory point with his Wehrmacht teammate.
This is a nice flank from Hans. Actually, things getting interesting here. He's flanking with the minesweepers to make sure that there are no telemines lying around or S-mine fields. When he gets around the back, you see that's pulled the Command Panther from Nagano, and then we'll be able to see the T-70 with AT support go up.
I can't believe we're seeing Nagano do this. He's literally had enough of Devem. He is now teaming up with his teammates, and they're going to try and focus on other areas. But Devem's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to live in the south Nagano. He's still going to fight you. But it's going to be an interesting one now, because they're going to have that guaranteed fuel. Volksgrenadier is in an awful situation there. It's a good job they were suppressed, because that could have been a grenade on retreat. Fortunately for him it isn't, but look at this infantry, it's unreal. It's Imperial Dane's worst nightmare. They're just kind of swarming forwards. Infiltration grenades going down.
I just can't believe Devem's ability to dodge these infiltration grenades is so high level. He's not been hit by it once. And he's dropping the off-map smoke barrage to stop the suppression from the MG42. Sorry, the MG34. He's just doing so well. T-70 there, nailing Grenadier on the retreat. Hans starting to pick up the game with the T-70 a little bit. The ISU has hit the field as well. But this deserves a little bit of an intro, I think.
It does indeed. It's a huge cannon on a casemate chassis. It's Stalin's hammer. And it's going to make your day a very bad one indeed. That wasn't the best one ever. Sorry, Dan, I wasn't ready.
No, you're not wrong.
Well, I'm going to try and find nicknames for ISU 152.
We could steal from the UK weather, the beast from the east.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's
should on the intro. Nicknamed Zvero Boy, Russian for Beast Killer.
Oh, there we go.
We could have used that. Damn it. Like, Google, where are you when I needed you?
I think we have it. Is this Devem's own MG or is it stolen?
Must have gone. Could be. We can't tell on this unfortunately. Oh, nice pineapple dodge there by the Vet 5 Nagano. Volksgrenadier Brumbear here. Ooh, big shot in. Oh, he's getting aggressive Scotches, trying to make up for lost ground and lost squads and vehicles, etc.
Not seeing much from Hans with the ISU yet, which I find quite interesting. He's not really taken a shot from what I can see. Meanwhile, DevM is being aggressive with his riflemen and just not letting up at all for Nagano. Slowly, they're encircling their opponents, locking them down into their base.
It's kind of like those 1980s nature documentaries. Here we see the wild hyenas circling the zebra, looking for the kill. They're going to maim the young and starve its brain of oxygen. It's brutal as it is cruel.
It's a harsh environment for the panther.
Jacksons, the natural predators of the panther, have no mercy in their DNA. When do we stop?
Oh, we finally see it fire! Oh, it's been ages watching Hans there. Unfortunately, it didn't hit. When it does hit, it's quite lethal.
Oh, they all say that, don't they? Oh, what are the trees doing? The trees are alive! The ends.
Another Panther. Panther for Scotch. The Panther's a good idea. In fact, they need to bank their munitions to get the Ju-87s. I feel that's going to be where their victory lies. If they pull back into the base here, they could maybe lure allies into a trap where they get a good flanking route. Said no one ever.
You're like one of those crisis managers bought into businesses. So, okay, all your staff are ill and your profits are in the toilet. But what I've been thinking is if we could start selling staples, you've got loads of staples in your drawers, you can start selling them. Thanks for that, Dan. Crisis management. Lure them into your base. Yeah.
It's the same with territories. If we close down 5 stores, these 3 may do better.
Oh, God. Just like the British High Street has disappeared, as have the territories of Nagano and Scotch, but they are the most lauded and successful 2 versus 2 team in Company of Heroes history, so you ain't going to see them go down without a fight.
Vet 3 Maxim doing very well there, taking a lot of fire from the side. The real issue, though, these riflemen, 4 Vet 3 barred up riflemen, a Vet 3 lieutenant with bars, like 2 Jacksons. Like, how do you move against this, really? Really?
Well, Nagano tried to ignore it. Didn't go away, just got
He went
closer
to the other side of the map.
Oh, God.
It's the ostrich tactic.
The ostrich tactic, I love that. Well, I couldn't beat him, I'm sorry to say, so I'm just going to ignore him. He disappeared.
This could be a big hit from the Stuka.
Oh!
It
wasn't a big hit, but good premonition, I thought so too, Dan.
I actually think it is, because that means that Hans loses the AT gun.
Okay. Until he recruits it.
Until he recruits it.
Oh, positive spins out. Intelligent finally hits and kills a rear echelon. There you go, he spent 200 munitions and 15 munition grenades there. Big double volley from the Jacksons. No anti-tank grenade though. Another tree jumps across the screen there. Oh, nearly lands upright. That would have been good.
I'm really...
Oh, ISU 152. Nearly taking out the Brumbear. Panther gets into position with 2-pack 40s in tow.
We've just seen, by the way, Ju-87s, the Stuka Close Air support is now available for Scotch. I think the plan here, and you see it kind of starting to materialise, a lot of infantry have to push forward. They have to have the AT support behind them. The Panthers need to flank, and maybe a plane could crash into some infantry and kill them. That would also help. But they're going to need to make use of the Ju-87s after a snare to get rid of this ISU. That's their big chance here.
It's their only chance. The ISU 152 daunts the battlefield, but the other Spectre, of course, as we've already alluded to, is DevM's army. But Hans' army ain't too bad either. He's not lost a single one of those Maxims. They all have Veterancy 3, not except for that one. There's 4 in total. The ISU in action. The Beast Killer. The Beast itself, though.
What's this we see? Oh, this is the Command Panther. Sees an opportunity. Mark target has been called. Are the Jacksons from DevM there ready? Here's the Ju-87s as well.
Right now, but Hans is calling him. We've got a damaged engine. Here they come, though. They're in position. Main gun destroyed. Jackson going to take them out. This could be the end of the game. We also have the other Panther damaged. ISU's reversing away. Jackson turned their turrets on it. This could be the end of the game right now. Got to get out of there. The Maxim's getting in line of fire as well. Veterancy on these Jacksons. They're going in.
The question is, though, they've got the flares, so you would have hoped that the planes could target. They're going to come round on a fire now.
DevM knows nothing but attack.
Wait, I think... They go for it. They get the Jackson, but not.
Check out the north. What's this other Jackson doing? This is a crazy game. Could be getting the kill here through the smoke. Will he get it?
No, I think he's going to lose the Jackson. Both Jacksons down from Devem. Scotch gets away with a Panther. They nearly got the ISU down.
What a battle. So many. That ended up being roughly equal, I guess. We'd have to look at the stats and really do a proper analysis of it. But they both lost a lot of armor there.
Yeah, so much went down in those engagements. Looks like Devem sweeped up a lot in the center as well, taking down some of the Rikettans. They need to be recrewed. Nagano is a little bit wary of that with all these riflemen around. Beautiful engagement.
That was wonderful. Really good call on the JUs, by the way, with that nice camera. And Devem lost to Jackson, but he replenishes it with the squad wiping machine, the SWM M26 Pershing, on full assault. And just look at it. It's a beautiful master of wiping squads. That Raket versus dead. I don't even have to look down. Come on. It's the Pershing, everybody. Run bear. Get out of here. You're a poor man's Pershing. He shot the round in midair. I've never seen that before. Somebody clipped that. I think he may have hit the shot in midair. I may have been seeing
I believe
things.
it can happen in the physics of this game. So.
Well, somebody please clip that. That would be awesome if that happened.
But M6 Pershing, I mean, it can be a little paper thin sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
The thing is, though, it's a very, very good support unit for the ISU. Would have been great if the 2 Jacksons were still there, but no harm.
Oh, that was a good shot there from the designated marksman in that rifleman squad. Oh, here comes the Stuka. Lovely camera. I love panning in Company of Heroes. You get so much in your 2 versus 2 battle plan. Smoke there protects the retreat path.
Ooh, what are we going to see here? We're going to see sneak infiltration grenades. Nope. Got another Stuka firing. Oh, and it gets a squad of the riflemen. That is so important for Nagano to be doing that right now, because it's the riflemen that are causing so many problems, stopping the flanks, stopping the deep dives with the Panther, but they're getting squad after squad.
And here come the boys. Force away the guards, who do a good job. Victory point wise, by the way, the Allied supremacy is in effect, but it's not the end of the world for Nagano and Scotch. They do have 138 remaining versus 269. Grenadier in the north, just being ponderous. Folks Grenadiers pushing down south. Veteran C5.
I think the real key here is you can't just sit back here and defend against the Allies, because they keep pushing that front line. Like, you have to claw back what you can get. This is great from the Rikettans, getting a quarter of the damage off, and a great Faust to finish. They've got the special operations flares down. Does that mean that support is coming over? Yep, we see the Panther fully operational, charging in.
The Panther is fully operational, and here comes some X-Wings to try and take it out. But there's bazooka rear echelons, and one of them's Vet 3, so you've got an extra man. He's really tanky, repairing it super fast. Oh, that Pack 40 is trying to find an angle there. Oh, nice nade dodge by Nagano, proving why he's a tournament winner as well.
Absolutely. Mark Target's just gone down somewhere. I think that's on the Brumbear.
It is. It's trying to go around a delicate little piece of land there. Pershing's already back to full health. Let's have a little look at Helping Hands' army. Haven't seen that for a while. Okay, Vet 3 T70. He's got the SU-85 and... No, that's T-34 and the...
Oh, this could be really nice. This could be really nice. Oh, I think...
It looked nice. It wasn't very effective.
I think the building took a shot that if it landed there would have been chaotic.
What's Hans got then? What are those tanks? I can't quite see.
This is the SU-85, the ISU, and the T-70. The T-70, by the way, is this. Look at the spotting range that it's got. That's a huge range for the T-70 to have, and it's great spotting for the ISU, and that's why it's so efficient on the field right now.
Reported for Mapax. I can see way too much. It's not fair. Pershing, how many kills has that baby got right now? It's fine, don't worry about it. Combat engineers in the centre, pulling around. Just trying to maintain control of the Allies. They are currently 2 victory points down though. Stuka Zavus finds the ambulance. Bit of tearing up the convention there. ISU, JU 87s, is that? Yes, it is. Here they come.
They're actually targeting the SU-85 and not the ISU, which I'm surprised about, to be honest.
Maybe the last attempt at getting shot, maybe. Oh, but there are rear echelons guarding the rear, as you'd hope they would be. Just keeping the flank from being accessible for the Axis. Brumbear pushes itself in, and force away this Maxim. Misses somehow.
Is it here?
Oh, rear echelons gone! All of them! Where are my minions?
Oh, that's not good. There's now no repairs on the field for the Pershing. It just takes a little slip up like that. Beautiful, beautiful from Nagano. And I think he had the special operations flares up in that area. So,
I'll tell you what, Axis are on the comeback trail now. You'd be surprised, because the Pershing, if it gets some big shots against it, it'll be out of action for a while. Maybe, you know, it gives Axis a little bit of a leg up rather, you know, it helps them push their asserted dominance in the centre a little bit better. As you say, the veterancy on that Panther doesn't stop, it helps a lot as well. And
they're using the Spec Ops flares again. Just have a look at what's in the area, and that signals that it's all clear for OKW to move in.
Interesting one so far for certain. 214 victory points to 138. Jackson on the prowl, looking for something to dominate. Oh, we could see a nice field artillery barrage against clumped grenadiers here. Possibly. Alpahans may want to save his munitions, maybe. Yeah, he has
Possession there, the recharge.
Oh, he's on recharge. Nice, fair enough. Digazafus.
No,
Can't take out that Ziscum. Just destroying the map.
Oh, look at the control here. Vet 5 Volks Grenadiers, but able to heal on their own out of battle. And it's quite, you know, the OKW faction, of course, they're designed around initially, you know, being slow to get on the field, you know, less units, but they're much higher veterancy. They're able to get 5 stars, the only faction in the game that can.
Just hit the record for viewers for a company here as a competitive game. For certain, 5,200 cumulative. Probably a little bit more if you add in YouTube. So welcome to the stream. This is the finest RTS money can't buy because it's free this weekend. Go out, grab it. It's one of the deepest games you'll ever play. It'll consume your life because it's that damn good. We're watching 4 of the world's finest players vying to try and get into the final that we play tomorrow. And what a final it's setting up to do. But what a semi-final we're being treated to here. As they're duking out, the Axis teams in the north have really started to consolidate their efforts despite great play in the south from the Allied team. It's just such a great battle. 40 minutes and counting in this, and there's no sign of it stopping quite yet. A best of 5, the Allies are up 1-0.
Great hits there from the Stuka-Zufus. Some of these engagements are great because you get Hans, he's using the button ability from the guards a lot to try and stop any of the tanks diving in and getting rear armor shots on the ISU. But then, you know, you've got the Brumbear coming in to get the guards. It's really difficult for either team to break each other at the front. I think the right side is the key to this game because Devem's been so efficient there. But without that big rifleman army that we saw earlier, he has maybe let Nagano a little bit too far in now. Now they're suffering from pretty decent flanks.
I'm trying to put my finger on what happened with Nagano and Scotch's build, and my point is, I think they kept enough veteran Axis units, and now we're entering the late game. They're very good at playing with them. They've decided to consolidate and push in the right areas. Really good teamwork, and yeah, it's worked out well for them. Credit due to the comeback kids in this game, Nagano and Scotch.
I think Hans is sending a T-34 on the left flank. It's very, very deep in enemy territory, and I think he wants to go for a killing blow on the Stukas. We're going to watch this very carefully because this unit isn't going to be snared once by these Grenadiers, and we need to see a reaction pretty quickly. Oh, it is going to be a snare because the Panther managed to get a shot off first, and that means Hans doesn't get his sneaky kill on the Stuka-Zufusis. He's trying to kill these.
And he can't, because he was a little bit unlucky there, possibly. Brumbear with a rare tank kill. Allies are starting to feel a little bit more aggressive now, but here comes the Panther, Nagano, the Command Panther with the Raketenwerfer fire, taking out the Pershing. Raketenwerfer gets the kill.
That was beautiful play. Mark target used to make sure that all those penetrating shots really did the extra damage, but there's counter mark target on the Command Panther.
Here comes Stukas of Whose guards are going to be forced away, most likely.
Oh. Nope, other direction.
He just doesn't like trees.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the players are predicting the retreat paths, but you don't always get that. Oh,
hello. Oh, and what's this? More Ju-87s from the skies above. Goering's finest, and the Panther following up with a kill. What a comeback for Axis. This game 2 is possibly even better than game 1. It has been a tumultuous victory for the Axis players if they can keep up this momentum. Because right now it feels like they have come back from the fires of Hades in a furious fashion, to use a boxing analogy there.
Enemy forces are securing our
yeah, to be honest, I really like the way that Axis have played this game. Nagano and Scotch, they've just created so many opportunities where I didn't really think they existed, and they've made use of very little in order to do it. They've got a big task though. They've still got to get the ISU down if they're going to comfortably take a lot of the map in this game.
There we go. In the centre right now, it's a terse, intense battle for the central victory point. If you feel like Allies are going to win it, they kind of have to control victory points in order to do so. It's all going to be about down to the last victory point. Stukas of Whos with a horrendous barrage! Oh my lord! That's now a graveyard! Here lies Devem's army.
2 squads, I think, is... I think there's 2 squads went down.
A lot of individual soldiers as well. It was a heavy manpower blow for the Portuguese maestro.
Yeah, that's a big loss. And he's already lost so much infantry in this game. He's lost all the veterancy on it, all the bars. So actually the investment that he's lost is huge. But trying to build those riflemen back up is a real job. Raketans get the first shot on the tanks there, allowing the Faust to snare. Is this an opportunity for more vehicles to come in? The Panther comes in for support.
Oh, what support it is offering as well. Huge shot there against the Jackson at max range.
Panther, this is sensible play as well. He could dive in and probably get both Jacksons, but he isn't going to risk it because they're already winning. And that's good signs of a team that really wants to win this game.
Check out the ISU 152's kills as the mage dies. How's it actually done? Let's bring it up on the screen. There we go. It's 34 infantry kills, 2 vehicle destroys. To be honest, for my money, that is not a good ISU 152, especially on such a big stage as this. You want it to performing a little bit better than that. It'd be fine for a T-34, but not an ISU 152.
I think that the problem we've seen is, by the way, these are great Stuka barrages. They're so on point. But I think the problem we've seen is I think it spent a lot of time not on high explosives.
Oh, there's high explosives for you! Oh my lord, this Stukas of Whos play has been otherworldly. Oh, that's a trap though for the Panther. It's getting wombo comboed right now, forced away. But that Glacis high angle armor, oh, that's deflecting a lot of shots.
Yeah, the Stuka, when it hits, is very good. I mean, sometimes I think getting the Stukas, especially when you get 2, because they have doubled up on the Stukas, it's 200 fuel investment to get this.
Oh, look at the kills on that thing.
I know.
53 on that one. And how about the other?
But it does pay off sometimes. The other one is
24. Wow, so 77 there, all into all. Command Panther pushing in for Nagano. Just feeling almighty as we've got 27 victory points eking down. That's roughly 27 seconds remaining. 3 victory points mean roughly 1 tick per second. You're now seeing, oh, the Jackson die to Raketenwerfer fire. And you're now seeing possibly the end as we head to game 3. 1 game apiece with an historic comeback for the Axis. If you...
So close.
It was indeed. Just like this game was. I did not see the amount we talked about how well Devon played as USF.
Yeah.
But then Nagano and Scotch just went into that late game Axis mode and they showed no fear. And what a comeback it was.
There we go. Great game. Game 2, of course. And GG, Nagano and Scotch.
Victory is ours.
Wow. What a game.
What a game. That was a great game.
Well, both games were great, actually.
Actually, at the end, I was really sad to see the VPs go down because I was like, this could go on for ages. And it's so good to see, the players using good strategies. They were kiting and diving at the right moments. Nagano and Scotch, I think, again, Gold Path 2 is the name to remember there. They're commonly known as just the best 2v2 team. That is
They don't
why.
have like
They were on the
t-shirts
back
and
foot for
stuff
so
done.
long.
Like they don't have the Gold Path 2 house,
Yeah.
Maybe after this tournament they do. Do you know how the conversion rate, by the way, dollars to rubles is fantastic for Nagano? Like conversion rates and the cost of living in your country matters a lot with like when you've got one currency, like the US dollar here. So for Nagano, this is like the equivalent of 3 to 4 months' salary in Russia for a decent job as well. And that's not being patronising. That's the hard truth of things. So he's going to be fighting just like he did like his life depends on it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. But again, they were so on the back foot. Devem's Vet 3, Vet 3 Rifleman, Vet 3 Lieutenant, double 5-man squad echelons, 2 Jacksons. Like, where does this go wrong?
How do you lose that situation? And,
Nagano, that's how.
Yeah, Nagano did play extremely well towards the end there. Also, I would like to retract a statement about him backing away from Devem, because in 2 versus 2, if you are losing a 1 versus 1, great piece of advice, make it a 2 versus 2 again. If you're not doing well against your opponent on your side of the map, buddy up. Focus the other guy. It's exactly what they did.
It does have its pros and cons because you're going to lose, the resource. But if you do it quick enough, you're right, because you make a 2v1 on one of the sides quickly. That's where 2v2 is interesting because it requires both players to say, hey, there's a weak spot here. We've got to go at it, and it was so pleasure to watch that game.
But if you think about it, like the amount of micro you need to keep up with Devem, right? He's killing you with these rifles, lieutenants, all with bars, veterancy 3. Nagano did something very clever. He stopped the infantry battle, sat behind his Raketenwerfers, which were perfectly positioned, and fought the infantry with rocket artillery. It was fantastic. And the Command Panther play was awesome as well.
Yeah,
really good play.
True. That's true. Oh, sorry. The arm of this chair keeps popping out, going to fall off.
The smallest
That's
of
happening
all-
during the cast, so you just see me like topple over.
I'm getting too animated. I'm forcing you away.
We should just bring up the brackets for everybody to see if anybody's recently here. These are the brackets for the tournament this weekend. Currently, we're casting semi-finals 1, Nagano and Scotch versus Helping Hands and Devem. And of course, with Helping Hands and Devem here means that they knocked Love Nest and Refero out of the tournament straight away. In the other semi-finals right now, Stuve and Kimbo, who won their bracket, are playing Von Asten and Isildur, who I think we can say dealt with Prodigy and Price quite well.
It was, quite well. I don't want to be negative towards the losing team
not at all.
there, but they made easy work of it seemingly, and that's not an easy thing to do against such great players as Prodigy and Price.
Absolutely true. Well, there's plenty more to come. This is a best of 5 series. We're currently 1-1 within it, so potentially 3 more games of this to go.
Just Men in Black yourself, because it's now a best of 3. It's a best of 3 now.
I know.
It doesn't matter anymore. We just wasted 2 great hours of our life. We'll never get them back, but we enjoyed every moment of them. And we're now going to be casting a best of 3 to decide who gets into the final tomorrow in the biggest money tournament in Co history.
Absolutely. I think we deserve a quick break before the next game. It's going to be a little bit of a delay, maybe 5 minutes before it starts. Anyway, of course, this KO2 Anniversary Classic, the 2v2 is put on by Sega. They put about £20,000 or more into this event to celebrate 5 years of the game. And for all you guys that love supporting it and the new members of the community, the game is free to download this weekend. And if you download it this weekend, it is yours to keep forever. So
amazing.
Go and get it now. The link is all over the chat. It's a great time to get the game.
And KO2 2018, complete different game to when it was released. You may have seen it was just above average. Now it's a stellar AAA PC title. No better time to pick it up rather than now, and there's loads of work being done on it still. Commander revamps and everything we've been talking about today.
Yeah. The revamp this week.
Yeah, hits this week.
So like 10 Commander revamps.
Oh.
Loads of content. USF being reworked. We've got map updates that we've had 2v2 with like
Everything.
Eindhoven put back in, and it's great. It's a good time. Anyway, we're going to take a break. So thank you guys for tuning in at the moment. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be back with game 3 of this series of a best of 5. Helping Hands Devem versus Nagano and Scotch. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.
Victory is ours.
Mechanized Black is ready for action. Forward elemental report and infantry unit lost. Order knocked down! Airborne on the ground. We are losing the sector. Scout car is alive. Half track has arrived. Officers can now be called in to rally our troops. A fresh officer has arrived.
I came ashore with my men on D-Day, an attack that took us to the borders of Germany. My surviving battalions were stretched thin and emplaced in sectors high command had deemed quiet. None of us were ready for the Ardennes. As soon as the clouds rolled in, so did the Germans. Our front line bent but wouldn't break. With our divisions scattered, every company played a crucial role. It was a desperate struggle, but it bought the troops the time they needed to regroup. And then, we launched the counterattack. They call it the Battle of the Bulge, one of the largest operations in American history. But for over 90,000 men, it would be their last. I live with the tough decisions I had to make. What would you have done?
by the combined sea, land, and air forces of the Allies together.
Raid operation commencing. Fire! Don't spare the horses. Load main gun. We have a target. Enemy armor contact! Oh Christ! We're hold! Heavy armor! Fire! Armor destroyed!
There is no shadow of doubt that our Allied forces will end this war over the Axis in the only proper way.
Air landing forces over the battlefield now. Good work, everyone. We'll be going in for king and country. Assault orders have been issued. Fire! 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 Go! On target! Fire! Consolidate battle rifle fire! Fire! Secure that target! Strike forces inbound! Fire main gun! This is where we turn the tide, forward, men! Hurrah!
Good luck to each one of you, and good hunting on the mainland of Europe.
Hey everyone, we're back, and thank you for waiting. Hope you guys enjoyed trailers and the little wait screen we put together. We're about to go into the third game of the semi-finals. We hope you're having a great time. But hey, I'll just talk a little bit about
us and who we are and where we are as well. So I'm Matt, long-time broadcaster in this particular computer game. You can check out my youtube.com, AECOH. It's got all of this tournament series and ESL, all the stuff my good friend Dan and I have cast together. This is Dan. twitch.tv/Stormless, one of the finest broadcasters and camera operators, I must say, in Company Heroes history. And we are at 80 Hertz Studios. It's in East Manchester, one of the best kitted out studios for all of your artistry requirements. Go to 80hertz.com. But without further ado.
Absolutely. Let's get into Game 3.
Victory is ours.
Hello everybody and welcome to our third game of this amazing semi-finals. We have playing on the southeast side of Elst Outskirts, double Brits today. Nagano and Scotch from Gold Path 2 playing double Brits.
I can't believe my eyes. It's a wondrous contraption. And we're up against Mixed Axis in the north. It's Helping Hands and Devem. They've just come off the back of a comeback defeat, and that's not what you want to hear after the word comeback. You want to hear the words comeback victory. Indeed, they were winning and then they lost. Let's go and have a look at these Sturm Pioneers. You can see they've got the Sturmgewehr, the very first successful assault rifle design. It took an intermediate cartridge, not a rifle cartridge like those mods in... Sorry, these are Mausers, Kar 98Ks, one of the best bolt-action guns of the war. But the Sturmgewehrs were the first assault rifle. That was a really successful design, very cool. Let's talk a little bit about the Brits, Dan. A lot of people can buy this faction for very cheap on Steam right now. Talk us through what makes them an individual faction and a pleasure to play and watch.
Well, the Brits, they have their own playstyle. In fact, even in Company Heroes 1, they had a very unique playstyle. The Brits are great at holding the front line. Their units are just very, very tough, thick-skinned. They can make engagements last a really, really long time. They've got great little boosters. They can throw artillery. They can, like markers for artillery. They can heal themselves when they're out of battle with their medical kits. They're beautiful. But I think where the Brits come in, the way they always have, it really is in their artillery. They've got such good artillery. Comes from the base. You see their bases here. When these upgraded, they get an artillery piece each, which can be called down by the infantry units. It just makes them a little bit fun and different.
And they've got the dichotomy of hammer and anvil as well, so you can choose to upgrade your building in one of two ways for all of the buildings. For example, it's either a Comet tank or a Churchill for the last building you can utilise. And Brits are still getting iterated upon. They finally get an anti-tank snare, something that will slow tanks down until they are repaired, and that's happening this week. So Relic is still, well, Relic in the community in this case, because it's a cohesive effort, are still working on the game. Let's get into the tactical nuances of the battle in front of us. It is the third game in a best-of-5 series to decide who goes into the final for the biggest money tournament in Co-history. And out.
Absolutely, yeah. Nagano. I think this is a sensible play from Nagano. You see here he's trying to take the decap. The decap's fuel from his opponent. He's been caught out by an early sniper from Helping Hands. And the sniper is brutal here against the four-man squads.
It really is. It's 25% of the squad's capacity to live evaporated in a single round of that scoped G43 rifle.
It's a great tipper for engagements as well, because of course one model going down means that the squad's fighting less efficiently, so it's actually easier for the Axis to win engagements. Great early Raketten predicting the Bren. Can he get that last shot?
Oh my lordy Jesus, I did not think that was possible. He got through the trees, nearly hit his prey. Nice work.
He weaved his way through the foliage there with that.
Beautiful. Nice and afraid you go. Dan's back, everybody. He's got the dictionary out. I like it. I feel mildly threatened there. I want to have a battle of words. Let's bring it on.
Here we go.
We've got the folks grenadiers behind the log pile. Nicely bound packets there.
Not a fan of that retreat.
No, me neither. You should have soft pedaled first, possibly. Come on, Scotchy baby. You're a much better player than we'll ever be, but we can still criticise you from our highly advantageous position in a studio with a can of Red Bull. Come on, it's
easy for us. But if anyone doesn't know why we're criticising that, you can actually choose which door you get out of on these buildings. So you don't want to get out on the side of your enemies there. You could have got out from the front and run off.
Also, a high level play is to manipulate the algorithm of the retreat path. So as soon as you click retreat, the game calculates what is quickest way back to base, go that way. That's all it does. So if you move before you hit retreat, you can make it beneficial to you. Not Not that it was that bad, the tiniest bit sloppy, and we're hypercritical people. And tell us what you see here, Dan.
I just see riflemen, well, Tommies actually, and they've upgraded to 5 men within their squad, so they're now really, really efficient at fighting. They're going to not suffer so much to the sniper, and you see right now, Tommies from Nagano, they are going to flank the OKW and Austere combined forces from the north. This is
them
nice.
sound very scary then. Oh
Watch
dear.
this. I'm actually worried about this sniper here if it gets found out.
Oh yeah, I can hear there's a universal carrier lingering, and as well, Tommy's has certainly got the retreat path. It's upgraded to a Wasp, which means he's got the flamethrower. Rakettenwerfer's getting pushed away, so that's been found out.
This is a great target for the Wasp. We hope to see it come in. And Wasp upgrade on the universal carrier, of course, flamethrower.
Nice incendiary grenade fighting fire with fire. Not quite burning down the house though. Tommy's pushing in. Map work, Dan. What are we seeing?
Well, Sniper, they're just soft retreat, by the way. But in terms of the map, Axis were a little bit on the left-hand side at the start of this game. They tried to take the fuel that kind of inherently goes to allies playing from the south. And now, actually, they think they're having to struggle and reconfigure. They've just dropped double fuel to the Brits. And they have to get fuel urgently to stop the Brits bringing out early vehicles.
Oh, I can see early Cromwells this game. I can just see it. I think this is a fantastic play from Scotch and Nagano.
Just been found out laying some mines there.
That's the end of the world, I guess. Tell you what, Helping Hands has been asking Devem, when can I play Brits? He just wants to play Brits. So he'll be like, look, if I played Brits, I would have been fine. Because he is the most famous Brit player in tournament history, Helping Hands. He made them his thing, let's say.
Hans is a fantastic Brit player, but I feel like Hans and his British success relied on one commander, that was Mobile Assault Regiment. The land mattress, that's when he was just like, he used it every single game, and you don't see him using it as much anymore, but here we see the engineers here, the sappers, they're trying to clear parts of the map so that they can get better sight points. This is great to see, such a great ability used.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's deforestation in action, but so we can get better range of sight. Here comes the Spy Hunters Svansig after the Wasp. The scout car with that auto turret. Big shots go in. 2 more required. There he goes, and he's flung out of with a double jump. Wow, that was cool. That was awesome. Like Mario or something.
Yeah. AC's out in the field now. This is really important. I think Brits actually suffer if they don't get the AC out quickly because they just don't have anything to contest with the light vehicles otherwise unless they invest in the AT gun, and that's not always able to get the right angles. It's a heavy thing to lug around and get into the right position, so AC, very important here.
And that's, by the way, why they were obviously deforesting, but the AC didn't need that. It's mobile in its assault. Then Pioneer's coming to back up the Furch Grenadiers. That's like a difficult engagement. I don't fancy that one if I were Devem. I've got to say, Devem Helping Hands must be a little bit dejected after game 2. They put their heart and soul into that game only to lose in the long run. Devem is going for a Puma in this game, which is of course an anti-tank armoured car. You heard it here first.
Just by the way, that, Scotch has our first commander pick of the game, Mobile Assault Regiment, sorry, which is, I think, what we expect.
Hover over the commander for a while longer. I'm aware that some of these guys are thinking what commanders to buy, and if you're a Brit, so you've just bought the Brit for it, you can't think of a better one to get than that one.
Give it just a second, though, because the sniper's out of cover at the moment. The scout car's going to go down to the AC. Great play from Nagano. Sniper has to run away, and the second scout car a little bit powerless.
Oh, he's going for it! He's just like, oh, what's that tickling my left side there? Oh, the Puma, he's tagging out. Oh, I like that. While the referee's back was turned, he's done a sneaky little tag there.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about the commander before we went into
We were.
this,
I mean, look, this has got a little bit of everything. I like it's flamethrowers for your sappers. It's advanced cover combat, so giving you an extra boost. Infiltration commando is really the backlines, like a miniaturized commando squad. Land mattress rocket artillery, and then, of course, Dan, vehicle crew repairs are really underrated.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, the commandos as well can just like pop out of the buildings and surprise behind enemy lines. It's a nice commander. And the Brits are one of those factions. They do get everything out of their like third tier. You've got your heavy tank, your heavy anti-tank, and the Fireflies. So commanders that boost you.
Can't say no to that. Here we go, AC being led by bolstered Tommies, finding the Puma. There's 2 ACs, the Puma is surrounded. Oh.
Wow, that was absolutely muscled out of the game. You don't normally see that. The Puma's kind of like the counter to the AC builds, but only when played well.
Against one of them, not a tandem double combo AEC team operating in unison via 2 mines. One in France, one in Russia. That's interesting.
More of these trees. Just this
one left.
ability.
He's got to get rid of that tree, surely. Come on.
I hope so. For everybody's OCD here, he needs to remove this tree. But I mean, actually, the use of this ability is so that Brits can clear the way for their emplacements. They're a faction that is designed around these big emplacements in the mortar and the Bofors, so they need to clear the ground for it. It's good to see players using it for line of sight as well.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Brits are enveloping the battlefield right now. Not good at all. They're probably going to put a flag and call it their country, knowing the Brits. 2-2, having a good little going. The Brits have just realised, there's a 2-2-2 out again. Let's go and find it. Come on, chaps, there's a little 2-2-2 in the north. Let's go and see if we can get it. Now, come on, Jenkins, put the T away.
Just going to completely give away the sniper's hiding position. Let's just tail him.
He got hit then. Oh, it's nasty. Oh, a mine goes off over here.
I think that was around here.
Was it a mine?
Oh,
yes,
it was here. No, it was here.
You see, because they got the flamethrower, they haven't got the minesweeper.
Yeah.
How naughty. AC's going to fire through the bushes, possibly. Maybe not. There's another AC, though, with the bonus of the road. Oh, wow. Nice shots there. I think that was with the Tommies. Indeed, helping out with those friends.
Second Puma in the game. This time it's going to be Hands instead of Devon.
2 Pumas. There was a double Puma call in there. There's one from Devon, the mobile assault Hands Puma. They both spawned at the same time. So you see the OKW one's just got his out.
Yeah.
So it's Pumas versus AECs. Round 2. Ding, ding, ding.
It's such a shame though, because it's like you don't want to be doing this because it's such a stall now in the Axis tech.
I love it.
They've had to go back, and build these Pumas just to deal with the AECs. By the time they deal with the AECs, like, allies are going to have enough fuel for bigger things, so it's a difficult position to be in.
Look at them, though. They're so beautiful. They look very futuristic. Stone Pioneer hit a mine entering the building there, lost 2 models on his entrance. Puma body blocking the Royal Engineers, allowing the Focus Grenadiers to get some shots in. AEC's watches on in horror as he's shot through the trees. What a shot that was!
That was a very good shot. Can he get the last one through? Tries to ground attack, but didn't have the vision from the Grenadiers in time. And a nice popped smoke there for Scotch.
People may be questioning why we as British men call it a Puma. It's because it's a German armoured car, so we choose to go with the German pronunciation out of respect for those awful people's very good engineering skills. In World War II, I mean, not awful people now, God, no. You know what I meant. The military aspect. I'm digging myself into a hole, as one often does when broadcasting a World War II orientated strategy game.
It's okay. It's inevitable to make some mistakes.
Filtered mode engaged. Puma forced away. Rakettenwerfer muscles through some Grenadiers. And what's this? Is this pyrotechnics on display?
Yeah, just saw actually the marker for the artillery to fire. So now the base artillery pieces will be firing across the map to this general area. This is the kind of feature of the Brits that we were talking about earlier. And it doesn't do that much, but it's good area denial. And it's just going to keep units from being in that section of the map. That's exactly what they want to do if they're going to start pushing the strategic point here. And units that do go in there and do get hit take a decent amount of damage. Oh, and here's one of the mortar pits. We talked about emplacements earlier. We're about to see one of the mortar pits. The range on the mortar pits are really big, even still.
Oh, get that tree out of my sight.
No,
don't please, no. Don't make me look at that tree.
Look at it.
No, don't make me.
You're forced to confront your OCD.
Oh, it's horrendous. Why couldn't you get rid of that one as well? Nice grenade there, Tommy grenade.
Joe, let's just check Axis healing. We've got one in the base there, but no healing, I think. Only dropped crates for Dev M. I noticed he's got a couple of squads that are low health running around on the field. Surprised to see that this Puma from Scotch is still alive, which means, sorry, the AEC is still alive, which means the Puma hasn't been doing what it's expected to do on the field. Can we see a Faust here? This should be the Faust that allows the Puma to do some work, but where is it?
Oh, is it in turn? No, it's in the north of the map. They fear these 6-pouncers, of course. They can't be as aggressive as they'd like to be. Here, the mortar men in their mortar pit. Doing some mortary stuff, such as mortaring around. Sniper. Prone. With mortar fire all around him.
Yeah, I'd be careful.
I'd be
really
very careful.
Trying to take one of our points.
Stealth Raketans. Actually, whilst we're talking about things that benefit the different factions, OKW, the ability to just stealth these little versatile AT guns all over. And they can be so brutal when they catch you off guard.
Big points of contention here. Helping Hands has 350 munitions with a commander that has no large munitions ability, meaning he hasn't planted enough mines, possibly. A little bit of a wear and fatigue settling in for the Englishman there. Possibly should have been using his munitions to upgrade his units, etc.
Oh, love this. Great positioning of the AT gun.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. He used the sappers to destroy the foliage, allowing him a better area of operation. Nice incendiary grenade there, forcing away the Tommies. They just jump from cover to cover, much like modern third-person shooter games. Oh, there's that brace structure there for the mortar. It's under heavy fire, seemingly.
I think there's an ISG.
Oh, nice grenade there over the bushes. Did you see that from Nagano? Could actually take out this first grenadier if he's lucky. You know, he's changed sights on the sniper. That's Bren gunfire. Couldn't quite get the kill. Bit of green cover in between them.
See here, that mortar pit's looking a little worse off. That mortar pit, though, can effectively, like very effectively, cover both VPs. So it's a really great position for them to have the mortar in. Look at this push.
Oh, fantastic play. Such strength in depth here. He's forcing himself away as the tree flies into the sky. The AC watches on, and the 6-pounder gets a great shot in against the Puma. Popped smoke, forced.
You see the Puma, like you see they're trying to work the AEC up the field and then bring the Pumas around on flanks to get that last shot in, but Scotch has played the AEC so well in this game. It absolutely has to be noted. He's made no mistake with that unit. He's keeping it left and right on the field, moving the positions of enemy vehicles all the time. Do we get to see artillery flare here?
Just for the confused amongst you, Nagano is Nico. We will put a word in the referees to request the players change their names back to their tournament names. For some reason, some players like to change their names. So we've got Scotch and Nagano on the left side of your screen, playing as the South as the Allied double Brits team. I'm aware we've got a lot of newbies with us today, so at times we just explain a little bit better for you.
We're not sure why top players do that, because if you would think you'd stick with a name so that you're forever feared, but no, name gets changed regularly on Steam tournaments, just
everything. Grenadiers, French Grenadiers forcing away that those Welshmen there. Voice acting for Brits, by the way, was a true return form for faction design for Relic, I thought. I thought Code 2 was great, by the way. Didn't quite, for me, hit the 10 out of 10 Code 1 voice acting until Brits. What have we got down at Crawler? Oh, he's so close. Doesn't know how close he is. You know, that could be death later on. What if, like, a nade hit that?
Capture point is being overrun.
Sure.
But, as I say, everybody needs to check out the Brit voice acting. If you haven't got the faction already, make sure you pick them up. It's hilarious.
Enemies trying to take a point from us.
Brits have always been great.
Somebody said, what is he called, Nico? His name is Nico.
Yeah.
There we go. Boomers and in full effect, but they haven't actually been that effective, Dan, it must be said. And not as much as he'd like. He's clearly lost the battle.
Ooh, we have commandos that have been called out by Scotch. This is from the Doctrine. Mobile assault. We just heard there, mobile artillery, that's the land mattress. The land mattress is a very, very good indirect fire piece.
It really is. It's Her Majesty's favourite way of putting your opponent to sleep, just like the AEC now. As transforms itself into a Roman.
This AT gun should have a line of sight. And this is the first shot. I think sight there is being provided by the sappers.
Yes, indeed. Here come the Bren guns of the Tommies. 15 Stout Englishman with very good accuracy and
this
fully
could be a nice
automatic
grenade.
weapons. What a nade that is! Well dodged though by Devem. He dispersed squads very well indeed.
Oh, this is interesting. So grenade actually on the house there.
Nice.
And of course you have to be careful because Company of Heroes, destructible environments, buildings do not last. Be very careful with grenades.
They do not. Let's have a look in the south, see what's going on there. We've got Command Panzer 4 for helping hands. We've got the 6-pounder trying to shoot through the house and failing. Oh, what an entrance! What a shot from the Panzer 4 command tank. Finish him off on retreat, no whistles harmlessly overhead. Major mechanic in Company Heroes, of course, is destroying our opponent's squads, not just the individual soldiers of said squad, because the squad is the major investment, and that's where all the money or manpower is. Okay.
Enemy causing
There we
trouble.
go.
Try to
What a
take
battle
on
this, what a series this has been. This is a best of 5 contest, scheduled for 1 fall. And sniper behind him there. How many kills has that Spaby got? The sharpshooter. 21 infantry kills, not too shabby. Trying to put some pressure on the mortar now. Is it working?
I think
Sniper's out
Oh!
and down! The Panzer IV got in his way. He issued a movement command and the Panzer IV blocked the movement command, forcing the sniper to go into no man's land. And now he's truly in the air. Then what's this?
Let's go for a Churchill.
Bombers inbound.
Where are we going to see these commandos land, by the way? See the plane coming in here. Careful!
Oh my god, Dan, it's coming straight for me. Please move. Move us, no. Oh, you had it under control. Thank God for that. And who's
Yep.
this?
But look at this, what a great landing. Commandos pop out the glider. They're picking off the
beautiful.
squads on the retreat.
Where's the light cannon bomb when you need
Do
one?
they have the grenade? He hasn't thrown it.
Oh, that's a shame. That could have been awesome. Did he have the munitions for it?
The enemy have destroyed a forward position.
Great landing though, and obviously getting the AT gun, huge importance because he clears the way for the arrival of the
That'll take
the
ages.
Churchill.
Yeah, you
This
can go
will.
back to something else for a while.
It's a cumbersome beast.
It's a cumbersome beast. Made by Vauxhall, and it's not an Astra. It is indeed a very decent tank. I mean, the Brits made some odd tanks in World War II. This is one of the more decent designs. It is an infantry tank, very slow, goes at a moving foot pace.
If I'm honest, I'm surprised to see it penetrated so many times.
Yes.
That's very rare.
Very it's usually quite good at deflecting shots and such.
Yeah.
Every round is simulated with kind of this is slightly orangey, but it really does a good job of giving the aesthetic of warfare and like a microcosm feel. So people say it's a bad part of the game. It's my favourite part of the game, to be honest.
Double Churchill as well. Actually, I didn't realise Scotch had picked one out. It's a great play against the Pumas, really, because you see the Pumas are not penetrating all the time. Penetration values, I mean, the light vehicles not necessarily going to get through that thick skin.
This one needs watching over as the Irishmen are forced away. Stem guns in hand. Grenadier's going to survive that one. Let's check out the east as the Puma gets a nice little infantry kill there. It's a rarity. Got a very tight-knit area of effect pattern, more suited to do hitting tanks than men.
You know, I've really got a call. I don't think Axis are going to have much in this game from here. Hans, of course, has picked mobile defense. And with the amount he's spent on Pumas and call-ins and things, I'm pretty sure he's not going to have much in tech. Hasn't even got up to Battle Phase 2. So he's pretty much stuck on Pumas, you know, for a long time in this game. It's a teching disability, really.
It is, yes, indeed. He's put himself at a disadvantage for certain. Grenadier's getting forced away. How is the overall strategic meta of this game working right now? I really feel like the Brits have put themselves into a cube, and it's a cube that encompasses 2 victory points. So that's a good strategy. It's a war-winning strategy. You know, steady on, lads. We'll inch forwards into the enemy. Oh, Churchill's a big, thick, with a double C boy, and you can't force your way through him, but you can force your way through the rear line to take out the AEC with the Puma. Good play by Helping Hands, but he has been shot in the rear by the 6-pounder. Needs to get out of there. 6-pounder's facing the way he expects the Puma to go. Here comes the Churchill. Reverses his turret. Misses. 6-pounder's got one big shot in him though, Dan. No.
Nope. Good attempt. Let's have a quick look at what's going on with Nagano at the moment, trying to fend off an attack by Devem. Nice mines planted by Devem, stopping those infantry from coming up onto the VP on the right. And by the way, VP counts very important for Axis right now as they dip to 200 compared to 436 from Nagano and Scotch. So keeping hold of the VPs at this stage of the game is essential.
Here comes the Command Panther as well. Panzerkampfwagen 5, the upgraded radio. 2 command tanks all in all, so defensive auras up the wazoo for the northern combatants, flying as the Axis, trying to get their way into the final and earn that juicy record-breaking prize pool for Company of Heroes. And you may snort at it having watched you know, big Dota 2 tournaments, but for us, we are more of a pride and prestige community. We love what we do in playing this game, and for us 20,500 prize pool all in total is a big deal.
Well, his hands is committing to the Puma strategy. I'm not sure it's a good idea.
Do you remember when Barton back in the day took Love Nest out of an ESL tournament with like a 5 Puma build?
I remember it.
If Hans does some crazy Puma strat, how many does Devem have, by the way?
Devem has 1.
With Panther, and they're building a Death Ball composition. They're going to go all in at some point, and it's going to be glorious.
Where's the land mattress fire? Sorry, I'm hearing the land mattress fire. Left VP at the moment. Command Panzer 4 finds itself weak against the Churchill. Smokes to get away. This is the opportunity for Scotch to go back in and capture the VP on the left side, under cover of the land mattress. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's did a good job of recapturing the victory point for certain. And as I say, it's a little bit stagnant in terms of overall meta movement in this game. You see the guys hauling the trail. The other 2 don't help. They're so lazy.
No.
Come on, boys! Keep pushing!
Drill sergeant.
Drill officer.
Jerry's got 200 points remaining.
Well, the question here is how are Allies going to push back? This is great. Center on the field. An anti-air vehicle that is actually able to double down its effectiveness against infantry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, if this Churchill turns, it could crush the building.
Oh, but here comes the Panther, returning fire and penetrating.
Surely,
MG.
yes!
Yes, there you go! Down with an excellent call. And a destroyed building and a decimated MG.
Be so careful leaving squads in the buildings that
You'd
way.
make a good Jenga player, I feel.
Enemy causing trouble.
I actually am.
I actually am. I'm the greatest Jenga player you'll ever meet.
I'm actually the best Jenga player in the world.
I'm Milton Keynes Jenga champion 2017, I'll have you know. Here we go, nice rifle nade. Well, bad rifle nade is easily dodged by Scotch. Churchill fighting on. Meanwhile, over here, Nagano's fighting well. Cloaked Raketans. They are an invisible cloaked unit, so you can't see them. They can just slowly push themselves away.
Oh, this is dangerous. These Grenadiers are going to want to get the Faust on the Churchill. The Churchill is slow. I think they missed an opportunity to go in and get it there. I like to see that Nagano just takes his time, doesn't he? You see this in pretty much every game. He gets the kind of loadout that he wants and then takes it to the field.
I think they've got really nice builds that work together. They've both got Churchills. They've both become the anvil. You know, the object for their opponents to break themselves upon. You know, there's the rock to the steady stream of water that is Hans and Devon. And in this case, the rock seems certain to hold. Where's this land mattress firing? Her Majesty's favourite slumber inducer.
Yep, nowhere serious. I mean,
very accurate. That.
There was, when they designed this, there was no attention to needing to take down specific
true British World War II kind of engineering, isn't it? They've invented a rocket launcher. How about a spring launcher? That's the kind of thing they did.
Axis just barging their way across territory. The best way to do it sometimes, you know, take a big massive units. Of course, we've got commandos here lying in wait.
This could be a light cannon bomb. They've got a huge pocket nuclear bomb, quite frankly. Here it is, thrown. Folks are dodge it.
Oh, I was hoping that the Panther was going to
why do you have to be so good at the game? That could have been a great moment. You've spoilt it now. Great shots there, forcing away the Command Panther. Boys forced away by the Sturmgewehrs, the Foot Grenadiers.
You can really see how effective this mortar position's been. Vet 3 at the moment and pulling its weight to force any of the support weapons away from VP on the left side. It'll also be covering middle when Axis try to attack there. Churchill now feeling aggressive. They're going to start to muscle up to the command Panzer IV. They got nothing to fear, really.
Absolutely have nothing to fear for now, it seems. The Pumas are relatively toothless. Churchill standing strong in the face of overwhelming odds and superiority, but the 6-pounder watches on. Will it get taken out? Raketenwerfer with a Hail Mary shot from afar. Churchill survives. Pretty much the story of British World War I and, 1941. Anyway, First Grenadiers push themselves in Veterancy 5, those guys had a lot of firepower. Elsewhere in the centre, we see that the commandos lurk.
I'm going to say that I think at this stage, even though the gameplay has been fantastic, I think that Nagano and Scotch have got this game quite comfortably. I don't see that Hans really has the ability. You see he's taking up to Battle Phase 3 now, but with 30 minutes into the game, and now he's starting to look for a better solution to the Churchill. Is there time, really?
They have to go all in with this strategy, Dan. They've built a maneuverable force that is all about getting the surprise and pushing and continuing advantage. It's about blitzkrieg, quite frankly. Lightning war. They've got the special operations flares. They've got minesweepers. They need to use a player that does this beautifully. They need to Von Ivan this game. Go all in and go for it. Because if they're conservative, they are going to lose. The Brits will keep these 2 victory points, and there's nothing you can do about it. They have the fighting force that will keep the 2 victory points.
Yeah.
They have to go for it.
The absolute saving grace here is that they've got the speed, and the Brits don't have the snares, really. You know, they're only going to go in with minesweepers. That being said, Sherman Firefly in the build for Nagano. So soon there's going to be something that's able to handle it.
Centaur, the Akak, almost like a typewriter on deletion mode. Control Zeding all of those infantry squads. To the west here, we've got the land matches firing. What's it hitting this time? Anything much? But the biggest story is the Puma could be coming in here. What are they thinking? No, jabbing. No judges' scorecards for this battle. As soon as it's over, it's over.
I mean, to be fair, they're getting some good hits, some good penetrating shots. I think this could be the moment, though, that we were waiting for. The Pumas are trying to deal with the mortar pit. Brace is available, but not used yet by Scotch. 2 Churchills roll in. Can they ground attack through the smoke to get the Panzer IV? 1 penetrates.
Churchills are rather like Clement Voroshilov's tanks, the KV-1s. You have to get around the rear of them to really cause them damage, because they'll just tank a frontal assault. Especially with a lightly armoured Puma, you have to start working that turret traversal rate and get behind it whilst it can't fire at you. Panzer IVs, what? They don't counter the Churchills. A Jagdpanzer IV maybe, you know? And I'm sorry to be an armchair gamer here, but I think we're all thinking it.
Well, perhaps the intention isn't to take down the Churchills themselves. Maybe it's to provide a better anti-infantry solution, which depends what way we want to go with it.
I would say the Churchill... Oh, there's a Sherman Firefly as well now for Nagano. So he's got the unholy trilogy of Brit tanks, the Centaur, the anti-infantry tank, the Churchill, defensive tank, and the Sherman Firefly, which could be taken out. But he's going to go for a Hail Mary shot there. Oh, Pumas are going in. Churchill has been rear-armoured. Devem's under assault, though. The Centaur takes him out. That weak rear armour. Here comes the Command Panther. What's he thinking? Firefly's going to take him out from afar here. Pick him off like an assassin in the mist.
1 shot from that Firefly should be GG for the Panther.
Oh, brutal. Lee Harvey Oswald, eat your hearts out. That Firefly had bad intentions on Devem, and he fell into a trap.
Yeah, I don't know if Devem really noticed the shot from the Firefly there, which is really unfortunate. He didn't seem to make an effort to get that tank away. Command Panzer IV in trouble here. Raketen, I don't think that shot penetrated. If it did, it left it with very low health. Do we see the ground attack shot?
He's down to only 50 points.
Firefly, big shot coming in. This is not Last Chance Saloon. This is simply Game 3. Should either of these teams win, it will not be the end of the match.
I mean, really, it's the sensible thing right now to... the sensible thing right now is to just hang back a little bit. And, you know, they're winning. They're not really got anything to fear with this this build from Hans and Devem.
Churchill, look at those beasts. Not one has been taken out in this game. They've done so much work. Oh, nice work from the Raketenwerfer going for a cheeky shot in here. Against the fight. Oh, good tulip rockets. Oh, my lord. What a shot. Oh, but the great play by Devon with the cloaked Raketenwerfer. It loses its life. Hero of the Third Reich takes out the Sherman Firefly.
Who wins this engagement? I mean, like, everyone lost everything.
Oh, here comes the Pumas, though. Albin Hans is getting aggressive. He's getting leery. He's going to have to go all the way around the back. He's going to try and take out the land mattress, possibly. No.
I don't think it's aggressive. I think it's desperate. 5 VPs on a triple cap. It's going to be GG. There's nothing they can do. GG to Scotch and Nagano, showing us double Brits are still viable.
Wow.
Victory is ours.
And welcome back. That was the third game of an amazing best of 5. We now have Nagano and Scotch 2-1 up in this series. Deserved.
Well deserved. I didn't think they looked fantastic in game 1, but games 2 and 3, brilliant, and double Brits as well. There was a worry that we wouldn't get to see much of Brits in the tournament, you know, because they're not the strongest faction in the world at the moment, just because of the snares. But great, double Brits.
Like you know, a great sportsman. Sometimes you're thinking, have they still got it? And then when the game fully gets going, you're like, they still got it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're seeing now. They lost the first game, but it doesn't seem to matter to this. Just to reiterate it again, for those that are watching, Scotch and Nagano are the most successful 2 versus 2 team overall in the game's history. So, fair dues.
Yeah. Great team. Pleasure to watch. They play textbook Company of Heroes, and if you're new to this game, just joining, it's really good to be able to watch a team like that. Just to see what like the game is like at the top level. We cannot guarantee, I said this again, cannot guarantee your game experience will be the same unless you can play as well as that.
Dear Relic Entertainment, I bought your game, albeit for free, in the good hope after watching the tournament cast this weekend. And it's a clear Trade Descriptions Act misuse, isn't it? Because you will never play like this. Your games will be like 4 Stukazafuses whilst your 3 teammates are on the step. Guys, I'm going to be the Stukazafus player this game.
Yeah, you know, with that one player, it's just like, hey guys, I'll go all artillery. Like,
that was me. I was there drunk out of my mind when I used to play Co-1, like, you know, on...
But it's a very fun game, and I think
it's hilarious.
yeah, all the modes up to 4v4. We have great memories of this, all the way back from Company Heroes 1. Great game. It's free at the moment. If you get it free this weekend, if you don't have the game already, there's links all through the Twitch chat that we're on at the moment, and you can go pick up the game for free. If you download it for free this weekend to play, you get to keep it forever.
Can I just make a really good point as well? This is the competitive side of the game, and we're ardent supporters of it. In kind of an esports format, but we don't really use that term because for us it is just competitive Company Heroes. It's his own beast. But this game has so much to offer to the casual player. You can do so much. There's so many mods. There's so many different scenarios. There's the theatre of war where you can do co-op against the computer in really different scenarios.
Let's show people. We can have a little
look let's have a little look in the game.
So yeah, for Company Heroes. Gosh, well, you got the campaigns. So the 2 main campaigns. One is the Soviet campaign, which comes with the game, and then you see the Ardennes Assault. This was a DLC campaign, very well done. It's a kind of, you know, control your own destiny campaign, as it were. Control like a variety of divisions and companies, and I really liked the Ardennes. I highly recommend that. But again, we talk about like content. You know, every time you go in, you've got all your commanders for the different factions. Some have more than others. There's loads to choose from, how you want to go into any game and you know, build your own strategies. So much to play with.
I've got, I think, 3,000 hours in this game, and there's so much of this I've never even touched. I'm aware of its existence, and I know of it, and I know what it is, but just so much to it. I mean, this is just cosmetic stuff now, but if we were to go into some of the theatre of war stuff, there's the campaign we've shown, but these are all extra mission packs you can play. And they're all really interesting. This is from the early days of Company Heroes 2, but it's still damn good content. And some of it's really challenging now with balance changes. You have to be really clever about how you play it. It's downright impossible in some cases, but still fun. And then, let's give people a bit to talk about how to get into auto match. Now, this is a very difficult game. There's no two tones about it. It is an RTS, and people are used to RTS being all mechanical skill. But now this game, for me, is more about learned experience, and it's about tactical decision making. And you can't get that by just reading a few guides on the internet. You have to go out there and play the game. So go out and be a loser, but be a loser that analyzes their defeats, and you'll become a better player in no time, and you'll start to win against losers that do not analyze their defeats. It is a game that rewards strategic planning and self-analysis.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if anyone is struggling as well, there's this great tutorial content from people like yourself. You've got Tyro
yourself on your channel, I believe.
Me as well. General's Gentleman, I think, did some things. There's loads to find on YouTube, and just Twitch itself. Watch the players.
It's another good way to learn. But you can get trapped in just watching them, and you don't get the thrill and the heartbeat palpitations of your own games. And I beat myself up when I lose. I take it to bed with me, and when I win, I'm smug for days. I think about it at work. I'm like, yeah, when I got that 3 victory point victory over Jeff the other day. Oh. Jeff in a hat, he didn't see it coming.
It's a great feeling though. Those ones where you have like one VP left and you fight and you somehow win.
To be honest, like a game of Battlefield, you jump into the server, you're there for 8 minutes, and everybody else carries you, and you're like, oh, I got a 2KD. It's not that rewarding. Or you pull off some cool moves now and again. Common Heroes, you're locked in a death match. It could last 10 minutes if you're really good. It could go 50 minutes if you're against an evened opponent. Or, anything can happen. And it's such a cool investment to get into Company Heroes competitive. Strongly recommended.
Absolutely agreed. But moving on, because a lot of people are going to have a chance to play this for themselves. But don't do it now. Watch this tournament, because semi-finals, we're about to go into the 4th game. It's currently 2-1. In favour of Nagano and Scotch, the famed Gold Path 2 team. Do we need to break?
Yeah, a quick couple of minute break and we'll be right back.
Yeah, game's going to start in a couple of minutes, so not long.
Victory is ours.
In less than 3 months, we reclaimed what the Germans had held for 3 years.
Yes, we had to win, but did it ever matter to you how we won?
On the 16th of December 1944, a massive artillery barrage caught Allied forces off guard, signaling the start of an unexpected German counteroffensive in the quiet Ardennes forests.
Abwurfzone markiert.
Operation commencing.
I came ashore with my men on D-Day, an attack that took us to the borders of Germany. My surviving battalions were stretched thin and emplaced in sectors High Command had deemed quiet. None of us were ready for the Ardennes. As soon as the clouds rolled in, so did the Germans. Our front line bent but wouldn't break. With our divisions scattered, every company played a crucial role. It was a desperate struggle, but it bought the troops the time they needed to regroup. And then, we launched the counterattack. They call it the Battle of the Bulge, one of the largest operations in American history. But for over 90,000 men, it would be their last. I lived with the tough decisions I had to make. What would you have done?
Victory is ours.
Welcome everybody to our Game 4 semi-finals round on the northwest side of Elst Outskirts. Having just beaten the opposing team in the last game, Nagano playing as the OKW and his teammate Scotch playing as Austere.
Their style is tenacious. They've got to be pugnacious. They're playing as the vicious WSF strategy. This is all about aggression. It's all about intent to maim, destroy, and plunder. It's got to be fast. It's got to be furious. Hans and Devon brought this out in the last qualification tournament and came back like Lazarus fighting with all the fire of two guys that were against the ropes and then hit a huge counter-attack. Tank traps going up in preparation there. Nice bit of barbed wire as well from Helping Hands, so he's just protecting his rear echelons there. But it's all about the rifle play. It's on Elst Outskirts, it's got a lot of sight blockers, and it's going to allow the rifles to converge from all directions and target something like a Stern Pioneer, get a nice early juicy victory. Scotch, by the way, kind of sees it coming. He's got Wehrmacht, he's got the MG42. This MG42 is a very important unit. Sees its first rifle now. Let's see the cone of fire. So close.
Got to be dodged though. Still in the cone of fire.
Oh,
kills the model on the gunner.
Nice.
That's a very bad first setup, to be honest. Oh, it sets up again!
Oh my lord, and here comes the Stern Pioneers to rectify the situation. Grenadiers do take it and rectify it, but the riflemen of Helping Hands are also helping out, and they're taking up more of these soldiers in the MG42 squad.
Quite frankly, couldn't think of a worse start for Axis there. That really is bad. You've got to be on your toes so much against the riflemen. They're so strong, especially with WSF.
Have they been studying their opponents? Did they watch the amazing WSF game that Hans and Devon treated us to 2 weeks ago in the qualifying cup? If they didn't, they may be caught with that.
This is an important push here. If they get the strategic point, they'll deny fuel to the Allies at the start. And they'll want to do that, especially with WSF, just in case that Lieutenant is teched. and they go for maybe like fast M20s.
Coach Grenadiers firing behind the log pile there. Good shots in. Elsewhere, rear echelons having to soft pedal away. Did you notice the reinforced steel barricade on the south side of the house in the north there? That's always a cheeky spot. We'll check that out later. There you go. So they can't retreat on the pleasant side of things. Nice body blocking from Devon, keeping those Poach Grenadiers from running home and getting more shots in against them.
Yeah, the early game here, we expect this to go easily into USF favour at the start. They've got to dominate the strategic points that connect the fuel resource to the Axis, deny it. But yeah, it just turns into one of these, like, all players seem to get loads of infantry.
They do, and they've infantry with intent, because look at this, forcing away the Poach Grenadiers in a perfect position to battle against the others who are on the wrong side of cover there, trying to fire an incendiary grenade. Devon's been dodging them for days today, with differing results strategically. But look, they've got the cut-off now.
Show everyone a little bit of the in-game detail that appears in Company of Heroes 2. There's the cut-off, as you said. But fuel is still connected through the VP in the center, so actually not as devastating as we
hoped. At least. But they will be getting their cut-off back, and it's just swapping, so they've always had fuel control just about in this game. Early ambulance for Helping Hands, and a lieutenant out as well, so I believe they'll be making double use of that ambulance. Not the start they might have wanted. Double MG from Scotch, by the way, so really looking to crowd control his opponent and help Nagano in that regard, because obviously the OKW don't have access to the early MG quite so much, and the MG34 isn't as good as the MG42 in this game anyway.
That is true. By the way, we just did see that Hans and Devon both have Tech Lieutenant. We expect that. USF is the faction that gets a free squad when you tech up. And if you tech up to the Lieutenant, you'll get a squad with a bar, so a bit more of an offensive unit coming on. But it does mean, of course, that one of these players is going to be going for either the A half-track or the M20. I think Devon's going for the A half-track here.
I believe they probably both will be, based on prior evidence. It was very interesting to see two of those things scooting around the battlefield, but we'll have to wait and see, because of course she could be treated to maybe an early Puma from OKW or something, which could make it very difficult to try that particularly aggressive strategy.
I just want to point out, by the way, Hans going for the ambulance early, and great teamwork, because of course the ambulance is able to heal the units of both players, so it's able to just be parked between the two bases and do passive healing, so WSF are great for that.
Well, something better than fielding nice full health squads. Poach Grenadiers getting forced away here by sustained M1 Garand fire.
There's that second A half-track. Devons is about to hit the field. Hans has just started in the build, and to be honest, it's needed, because actually I don't think Nagano and Scotch are struggling against this.
They're not. That double MG42, despite Scotch's shaky start with the machine guns, he's doubled down on them, and they're doing a good job. Here comes Helping Hands, though, the lieutenant backing up the rifles, urging them on into combat, forcing them against all odds to try and get a win against these Grenadiers, but it's not working for now.
Grenades being dodged on all sides. Hans has his A half-track put into reverse, of course, because the cannon is rear-facing.
Cannons, it's a veritable armada of weaponry. Nice Grenadier pickup from Helping Hands there. Here it comes, the A half-track down the road. The MG is going to have to get out of dodge. There we go, full retreat necessitated.
I was wondering if Scotch was going to put on incendiary rounds there to deal with that, but instead hits the retreat button. What a terrible start for Allies, really. We always expect that WSF means that there's going to be a lot of map control for Allies at the start of the game. In fact, that has not happened.
No, it hasn't. And rear echelons now getting the fuel in the north, and the lieutenant getting the victory point in the centre, but it's been a tale of spirited resistance and defensive Axis strategies in this one for me. I think Nagano and Scotch have had the better of it so far, despite our hype.
Well, you know, I mean, like, that being said, there haven't really been any losses so far. So, you know, there's still no concerns, I think. Only map control, and the resources are, minuscule at this stage. What we need to see here, though, is the A half-track deal with the scout car. Cannons opening up will penetrate pretty much every shot.
Eviscerate. It destroys light armor, does the A half-track, but it's such an unwieldy beast, and it's such a difficult map to maneuver around. A lot of maneuverability blockers, let's say. Here comes a 2-2 into harm's way. Oh, you want to get out of there, Scotch. Don't know if he's been drinking that same substance with that driving, at least.
I've got to say, it's ballsy to go for the scout car against double AA build, because the AA is kind of the counter. The counter to pretty much everything in Tier 2 of the Austere. Oh, nice rifle grenade.
Beauty. And LMG 42 fire could finish the job. Oh, couldn't quite get the shots away that he required.
Incendiary rounds have been used on the MG there. Now they can target.
They can. Oh, it's targeted the lieutenant. Unlucky. Unlucky. And let's see if any Nagano's got any Pumas on the way or anything down. I'm interested in that. Not quite. He does have a Rakenwerfer though, and a Stern Pioneer with a Panzer Shrek.
Nagano's the battle group attack, so
right.
No Puma from him.
Nice incendiary grenades as usual from Nagano. Well, kind of dodged, I guess. Maybe inadvertently. Oh, it's throwing more. Just denying cover here. He doesn't expect to beat Devem in that scenario, but he then takes the cover. And that's one of the great sources of denial.
I agreed. Cover is so important in Company of Heroes. It will stop engagements that are normally black and white, and turn them in your favour.
It's a multifaceted and layered game. It's not as easy as outlobbing your opponent with a superior unit composition. You have to think what you're going to do with them, what abilities you use, and how you, manipulate the cover, manipulate the map. Angles of fire is an Unreal-based engine, so it's kind of like an FPS, and that a lot is simulated in this game.
The interesting thing as well is that cover is directional in this game. It's logical. If you're standing on the wrong side of a tank, you're not going to get the benefits of it.
Here we go. We've got the soon-to-be Bear Panzer possibly from Nagano, but then again he's got Command Panther as his chosen doctrine, so he's got options. Must be said, Hans and Devem have started to envelop the map, despite a shaky start and headbutting a brick wall. It's soon come around that they have developed winning strategies and tactics.
I think it's good to see, because again we've seen this build done a lot of times. It's very effective, so it's not necessarily the case that it was getting pushed back or anything. They played it well. They kept their cool this whole time.
Rifle nade into the house, well dodged by Helping Hand. Straight back in there though for the lieutenant, and wasted 30 munitions. Pack 40 pushed away. Can't deny the AA half-track any longer. In the north we've got Nagano's capping his territories back, getting that fuel back up there. This is the western side of that. We don't see this territory sector very often. That means that Helping Hand certainly is getting deep within what was formerly enemy territory, which is a good sign for the Allies.
Tier 4.
There you go. Schwer Panzer headquarters, flak cannon. Rear echelons found with their pants down. Poach Grenadiers will destroy them. Quite get the finishing blows though. 222 meanwhile is out of harm's way from the AA half track.
Oh, this is great. Great infiltration grenades. I thought maybe they were going to aim for the retreat path of that unit. Perhaps missed an opportunity. At this stage, 4 Volks Grenadiers, you've got the Stern Pioneers, MG-34 for support, and the suppression platform for the USF comes in from the AA half-track, but they've got to get the bars working. The Volks Grenadiers are becoming harder and harder to handle, especially as they get upgraded with their LMGs.
A capture point is under attack.
Here we go. Lieutenant Rifleman nearly discovering the Raketenwerfers, which is German for AT gun Panzer Shrek on wheels, silently moving through the fog of war with a cloak. Bazookas for days, dazing and confusing the Grenadiers and forcing them away through sheer will alone.
What's going on here? Yeah. Just finding each other out in the forest. Once again, actually, we see another shift in gameplay. It was looking very, very USF dominant. Axis managed to turn it around as they enter their next stage of the game. We're coming into the mid-game now. It's going to start to see some medium vehicles. They've got the tier 4 building up for OKW. So maybe we see Nagano build something like the Panzer Force soon.
MG in the house against the MG behind the log pile. 2 LMG Grenadiers stacked. No indirect fire on the battlefield at this point, except save for DevM's mortar, but it's in operation in the north, so it'll be safe for now. Helping Hands battling back, trying to force away the Pioneers because the Axis have come back. Maybe you could do a bit of an AEism to describe the possible mechanics of the game here, Dan.
Tit for tat, ebb and flow, back and forth.
That's the one! Oh, you spent way too much time casting with me. Talk in threes and try and be poetic, fail miserably at times and succeed when you can. And then make a montage of your successes. It's the secret to AE's casting career. Here we go, we've got Grenadiers getting forced away. Here we the 3 Volksgrenadiers, 15 men, with a mixture of Sturmgewehrs and Kar 98Ks, doing devilish work of the Third Reich there. Grenadiers hit by the mortar, but carry on regardless to create the beautiful south. Riflemen, well dodged there. Nagano could have cancelled saves off 15 munitions.
How many grenades were thrown then?
7.
Okay.
I just wanted a comedic effect. I don't actually know.
Rhetorical.
Oh, I see. I'm learning. Sorry, I'm an alien from outer space.
No worries.
Let me try one. Hang on a second. Wow. How many times is that AA half-track going to hit a mine and explode?
That's a beautiful telemine.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful telemine.
Once was the answer. And once is all you need. Oh, there we go. Zuka's from indoors there, blowing the eardrums out of that captain. You'd think he'd know better. What an amazing game we're watching. It feels like we're spoilt childs, by the way. It's very similar victory point counts, 3-9-3 to 3-9-1 currently. We're spoilt children, I'll tell you why, because we have burned ourselves out on casting this series because it's been epic. Balls to the wall, incredible rifle nade from Scotch. Was that on Helping Hands?
It was.
The king of retreat rifle nades. Nearly got one himself. Lovely stuff.
I know. It's well placed. Not good enough though.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And here we go. Grenadier is going to push for the fuel. In the north, though, you can see that the allies are pushing for that fuel. So there are more tit for tat stuff.
I think the interesting thing here, I mean, like, I think now allies know the positioning of tier 4 for OKW. They're going to want to remove it from the field to stop medium vehicles from contesting, like, the infantry. So I think, actually, their idea will be to take these mortars as close as they can. In fact, Hans has gone for the pack howitzer to maybe try and barrage this down. Of course, they are too late as OKW Nagano rolls on his first Panzer IV of the game.
Okay, it's taken a little while, but it's finally come out. It's Nagano's answer to the spirited aggression of Helping Hands and DevM. It's the Alf J late war variant of the Panzer IV, and you must fear it.
Oh, this is beautiful. Smoke laid by the mortars through the center. That's going to allow the riflemen to cap without being suppressed by the MGs. Utilizing smoke from the mortar, very, very important tool for USF. Faction that relies heavily around smoke for flanking.
They do. They require it. The officers now, of course, are the carriers of said smoke. So it's you have to be clever about it. You can't just willy-nilly smoke out machine guns. You have to use your superior gentleman to smoke out your opponent. You've got the tank howitzer out as well. Nice support weapon build from Helping Hands. How does DevM's build diverge from his teammate? Okay, Major into Jackson. Interesting.
Yeah. DevM thrives on this, you know, it's like the mass infantry with the bars. He's a run and gun kind of guy, but Hans, I think, is actually playing the same strategy he was doing with Soviets by going for the support weapons and waiting for that call-in, which is going to be the Pershing from Heavy Cav, and he's rushing it at the moment. So I think it'll be quite strong.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. That's a damn good map for the Pershing because you can poke out from behind a building, get a cheeky squad wipe, and GG, well played. Let's have a look in the east there. We've got some riflemen, lieutenant, the major. What are they coming up against? Oh, it's Rakenwerfers in the fog, so they can't really see anything. Rear echelons jump in the house, but they are blocked by trees. That's a new feature to Elst. A lot of these maps are being constantly worked on, and this is no change to that mantra. Here's the Professor of Destruction. It is the Frenchman's Brumbear, the Sturmpanzer Fear, and it's met its match now because the Jacksons are fierce opponents.
Absolutely, yeah. Interesting as the Brumbear comes on, the Jackson is pretty much the counter there immediately. So Brumbear's going to have a hard time. You can tell that Axis are trying to bring things out on the field that contest infantry, because it seems they're struggling to deal with the US infantry on the field. Once they get that out of the way, Axis will have a pretty clear run on the map. But Jackson's actually in the center right now.
Oh, beautiful
Big
shot there. Big one, indeed.
He's going for it, is he?
Oh, no, he's decided against it, Devem. He's been clever, he's been safe in this one. He wants to be in the final tomorrow. He does not want to be in the third place playoff. There's a huge disparity in cash involved in each of those best of fives tomorrow. Multiple of 5 for the winner of each prospective match. 5,000 versus $1,000.
He wouldn't be Cash M if he wasn't...
No, he'd be... I mean, God, wouldn't that be terrible getting third place in $1,000? Oh, awful. He wants 5,000. Really,
I'm right to say he's the top earner
by far.
in Company
He's
Heroes.
made like 10 grand.
In the franchise, he's won the most of anybody.
From a non-professional game, and from, an amateur kind of competitive scene, he's done not bad, basically. Let's put it that way. Couldn't make happen on the live stage, though. GCS tournaments that we ran over the past couple of years.
No. A very, very tough time recently, actually. But I think that's because the player base has increased in quality substantially in the last half a year.
Oh, looks like Fochu died then. I know they jumped in the house, but he couldn't help but see it. Nice grenade. Panzer 4 misses. Here comes the Jackson. Sorry, Miss Panzer. I am for real.
Gotta watch these Volksgrenadiers there. There's the retreat. Raketten just manages to get in the view, but the Jackson was paying attention.
Was indeed, and it's going to live to fight another day. Here comes the Rifleman against the Grenadiers, hoping they'll go away, but they won't. They're going to stay in the fuel zone and neutralise it for now. Sturmpanzer with a nice shot. Explosive rounds as usual.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the captain tried to fire the counter bazooka there. Not really going to do anything. This Brumbear, though, has it dropped enough health to be snared by the Rifleman here? Yes, it has. Is this the moment that Devem needs to be bringing the Jacksons, currently in repair at the moment, missing a golden opportunity perhaps?
This is golden. Jump back into your chariot, dear sir, because you have to go into battle right now. No, I want to work on this paint job, man. Check out the spoiler. I've rigged the suspension. It's now... Oh yeah, look at him cruising.
We'll feel better and perform much better if the vehicle we're in is painted and brandishing Charlie Fox.
Oh, look at that tree. He just decimated that tree. Perfect play by Devem there.
But this is the thing with communication. In 2v2, like, you have to be screaming at your teammate, like, I need that Jackson here. I've just managed to successfully put a snare on.
Ooh, Vet 5 Volksgrenadier under duress. Vet 3 Lieutenant doing good work there. Here comes the Vet 4 Volksgrenadier tagging in, though. We've got the Lieutenant versus the Grenadier. Grenadier forced away. Victory point kept there, at least.
Can I just say, by the way, helping hands, 900 manpower, nearly 300 fuel. I mean, I know he's
not
saving.
Acceptable.
I know he's
not
saving.
Acceptable.
But he's got the major. It's like...
It's not acceptable to be ceding territories and have that much stock, surely. Because the Pershing's only 600, so, well, I suppose he's got 300 manpower if you think he's waiting for Is it 13 CPs? It is indeed. It's not acceptable in my mind. Definitely needs something. Maybe he's worried about what it is he needs to build, and he's trying to be reactive rather than proactive. He's trying to react to his opponents. That's why he's got such bank. He has just invested. What was it? Can we check out his card, please?
He's just invested in a machine gun.
50 cal. Fair enough. Fair enough. Panzer 4 pushed away by the Jackson. Big shot there. Decimating it, and Bazooka Fire coming in as well. Oh, couldn't quite get the finishing blow. Raketenwerfers are ready for the Jackson. They hit instead a mound of steel on the ground, and the Major's here to offer while the rifleman offered a grenade. Couldn't quite destroy them on retreat. 222 still alive. That's done damn well to make it to this 22nd minute of the historic Game 4 of this amazing best of 5 series and the semi-final of the Anniversary Classic. Welcome one and all. You know, we've been here casting this thing since around 5 o'clock. It's now 20 past 10. We've enjoyed every moment of it. And it does continue as the Brumbear continues to plough in with these big, heavy, explosive rounds.
Great shots there from USF-AT. Allies trying to go for the VP caps right now. And they've actually struggled in the games. Helping Hands and Devon have not been hot on the VPs, and I think that's where they've lost a couple of games in this series by being careless.
Careless indeed, and here we go, the 222s from the heavy duress from the bars. Pack 40s, a useless weapon for that engagement. These Grenadiers aren't there, and they've all got LMGs. They go prone, and with incredible accuracy and damage, they will force away their opponent. MGs in a tricky spot, but they're well out of range of those rifles now. Should be fine to really set up.
Is this a predicted?
Oh, it is.
He knew.
Devon predictably predicts the infiltration grenade and moves away. Panther on the battlefield there.
This is nice. I like that they're bringing the echelons in for the smoke discharge so that they can make their way up to the VP. Very important. Brumbear coming in to deal with the AT gun. The AT gun is going to be forced into a retreat. It's a nice hit from the USF AT gun. I think it was using the high penetration ability there, the armor piercing ability to make that AT gun a little stronger.
Hot capped soon, possibly, some of these players. The Scotch certainly is right now. He's got a full accompaniment of Grenadiers, MGs, Packs, Panther, Brumbear, and 222. That's a war-winning platoon if I've ever seen one before.
If I'm honest, I'm a little bit worried about Hands and saving for this Pershing, because when you look at what he's up against Command Panther, potential Mark Target, and the JU-87s. Like, this could be the game that they lose the series. And he's now hit 4-digit figures for manpower, because he hasn't even pop capped up to the point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can still get something.
Is wrong. This is what you tell new players not to do. He will have his reasons, and he could probably give you another, you know, his thinking on this. He probably will talk about it on stream. So ask him tomorrow when he streams, guys. You know, how come you hit 1,000 manpower at 25 minutes?
I don't think there is an excuse, because with USF you can hop out of the vehicles, worst case scenario, to free up your pop cap. Leave the vehicle in your base to quick cap it later on if you want. There's no reason to not be building anything right now when he has the Major and has more than enough for a tank and the Pershing. But you're right, maybe he does have his reasons. Maybe
also he's just incredibly shocked, tired, and he's, you know, tunnel visioned right now. It's possible. It is very possible. We've seen crazier things happen. Let's talk a little bit about the tactical battles in front of us. Jackson again trying to keep this northern victory point, because they do have 2 gone. But here comes the Panther leading the way for the Brumbear. The Brumbear going to target the rear of the AT gun. Couldn't quite get the shot away. A little bit delayed there. Still got 2 soldiers in the gunnery team. Oh, here it is though, the M26. America's answer to the Tiger tank.
Yep. This is what Hands has been painfully waiting for a lot of the game. And, you know, I guess the idea to rush it is better when it gets veterancy. Get it out as early as you can. What confuses me, actually, 26 minutes in, and how did we not hit 13 CPs a little bit quicker than this? Something, you know, I mean, hasn't gone right here, because he had a lot of infantry on the field, but not picking up the command points quickly, I would say.
Not picking them up possibly quickly enough indeed. To be fair, he's roughly where he should be, I guess, but if you know he's not, because if you look at Nagano, he's clearly been more lethal. 16 command points. Here we go, command Panzer IV up against bazooka fire. Pershing, or the heavy duress from the Junkers there. Look at the Axis map control. They're currently getting a triple cap on the go. The Pershing's been rendered impotent and just left to wilt in the fire from death above. Brumbear surveys the battlefield looking for its next kill. Here come the Volksgrenadier Army. Veterancy 5 on those guys. Late war, the Germans at the time asked all the old men to dust off their spiky helmets and, you know, pick up a rifle. With desperate measures, French Grenadiers.
Wow. I mean, saving up for all that time, the Pershing hasn't had a great entry.
It hasn't at all. It's been a little bit impotent. Must be noted, by the way, both AA half-tracks have not survived to this point in the game. Would have been really useful against the Strafe. There's a bit of game stats for you. What do your Hawkeye see? I mean, Dan?
Well, Allies are just, they just haven't had a great game. Neither player has taken enough manpower away from their opponents. They don't hold much in terms of field control. They're also lacking in VPs and starting to get into that negative trend where it continually rolls. That being said, Devem, I think he's playing very well with the Jackson. Jackson's going to be a really important unit.
One thing must be noted about the Pershing, if it isn't heavily countered, it is amazing at wiping squads, so the longer it stays on the battlefield, the more it will pay dividends. But it's about getting it into that position, and if it can't survive against the heavy dress of Panther Fire, Pack 40 Fire, and Ju-87s, it ain't gonna have a chance. Okay, nice. Here comes the Rum Bearer against Rifleman. They diverge and duck for cover. French Grenadier under 50 cal fire. He's got a difficult retreat path, Italius, on that central road. Should be okay though. Can't see anything on the road to get in its way. Oh, nice grenade. Well dodged, possibly inadvertently there.
I feel bad for Hans and Devem here. Pershing now repaired.
Finally. 222 is somehow still alive in this game. It's been there for a long time.
The tough thing here is that the Pershing just needs to be defended. It just kind of needs to sit a little bit at the back, pick up its veterancy slowly.
Yeah.
But again, Ju-87s...
Look at that! And Scottish has got 110 manpower in the back, really just needs to get to 200. He just keeps the Pershing out of the game. This is a loiter-based air attack. So it will circle tanks, and the tanks just have to retreat to base and get out of harm's way. So it's area of denial for tanks. You just constantly keep spending your munitions on that.
Wow.
Okay, so strategically speaking, it's looking like the Allies are licked at the moment. To use an old-timey phrase, because they're suffering. They can't get hold of the victory points they require, and it's not panning out as they desire because of the concerted effort and fire.
At this stage as well, I think they're going to need a lot of fuel to get vehicles to get back into this game. A lot falls into the hands of Devem here. Like, Hans is busy obviously microing his Pershing, and I was incorrect earlier, by the way, because Hans doesn't have major tech. I don't think it was right for him to save for the Pershing, but it's Devem with the tech, and I think the responsibility falls on Devem to bring out Jacksons as the counters.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because they both went USF, I guess. Then again, it could have gotten the major. He had 9 CPs, he had 800 manpower, so both arguments are valid, but here it comes. It's 68.5 tons of...
quantified destruction!
Oh, I was trying to think of something new, you know? There's a new angle there that you spoiled.
A statistical nightmare for the Allies!
Stop using my catchphrases against me, please! I beg of you.
Not formally from the east.
That was lame, that was rubbish.
Sorry, I'm muscling in on your territory.
You are a little bit. All I do is shout crazy things. That's all I do. That's all I've got, man. Here we go, Pershing. Will it wipe the squad? Can't even do that right. It's having a bad game, the old Pershing, you know? Only has 3 kills. MG42 watching on, getting the suppression in. And here comes the Panzer 4. Pershing, obviously, does a good job of defending itself, but it's meant to be wiping squads, and it's not being able to do so. Koenig's Tiger, Bengal Tiger, the Tiger 2 is heavily armoured and heavily outgunning everything in that central territory. That is a victory point. The Axis will just hold now. It's
want to point out, because for people playing this game, KOTOR, I mean, they went and got the audio from the tanks. You know, they drove them themselves, and the sound of these things, you can hear it through the fog of war. That's how you know it's coming before you see it.
Oh, listen to that. Oh, so beautiful.
So nice.
Here's another Ju-87. Oh, Pershing could be dying here.
Didn't actually target the Pershing on the second one. He saves it.
Panzer trying to get a shot through the smoke there. Actually gets muscled out because of it. Will survive to fight another day. Victory points are bleeding away. 140, 139 remain for the Allies. They have to think fast and act faster. Pershing's out of combat for a good while now. Jackson's trying.
Oh no!
Oh, Vet 3 Jackson!
He left it in the radius of the Ju-87. He's actually gone for heavy cav himself and brought his own Pershing out now. So one Pershing's already doing badly, so now they're going to bring out 2 units that are performing badly.
We know it's one of the most powerful units in the game. It's just how you use it and what you're up against. You know, you've got to support it. You've got to have the. You don't go USF in the 30th minute of the game. Basically, you have to try and finish your opponent off.
He's done the same thing. God! He's done the same thing. Devem, what are you doing?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my!
I mean, wow. Okay, we call them ironically skill planes in the community, but in this case, they're just showing a possible lack of skill due to endurance and fatigue on the Allies, because you know the loiter's still active. You just have to keep away from it. It's an area of denial tool.
Yeah.
It's not meant to wipe tanks like that unless you get within that loiter. And we've seen that there, obviously slightly.
How many minutes till surrender, do you reckon?
Till Curry. I mean, sorry. How many minutes till Curry? Well, it's been a fantastic best of 5 Passander. Here we see Normbread versus... Oh, that's a fantastic move by Chicken Shaslik. Basically kebab in Indian there. Fantastic work. Here we can see the... That's indeed Peshwari non. Moving on. For those that don't know, we are casting live in the studio, and our helps and the studio engineer and owner seem to have abandoned us. I can smell this faint waft of curry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got the... I wasn't just being a madman, Dan.
No, I know. But it's been a long day, some great games, and this game's still going. It's still got some legs, at least the players believe that. Pershing has a lot of work to do, veteran C1 at the moment, and as you keep saying, you know, the Pershing, when it is vetted, is a very formidable unit on the field.
Oh, dude. It becomes a Gel Frazee at veteran C3. A spicy tank, indeed. Here we go. Here we see the mad scramble outside the takeaway, 3 o'clock in the morning. Dave's gone down. Don't kick him while he's down, Pete.
Ooh, good push here. Good push here. Echelons utilizing the smoke. Does the King Tiger have some engine damage there? That maybe... I think some health damage, which means it could take engine damage from a snare.
Tell you what, we need to get our head back into the gears, because we know that Helping Hands of Devon are 2 of the game's finest ever players. So Curry talk aside, they are capable of amazing things, and we have to give them credit where credit is due. Despite this game looking over, you just don't know what could happen. So let's give it our full focus and attention until the over-encumbered lady sings.
Oh, this is a good one. You should see the snare here from Hans. The Pershing's in position. Veteran C2 gets a hit on the rear armor. Hans needs to get out of here, though, because the Ju-87s were just called. Is he going to sit there?
He is indeed, and here they come.
No!
We did see the Panther die, but we may see something else die. Here comes those Stukas. Misses on that one. He needs to keep moving. You need to get out of there. Meanwhile, the victory points eke down. Let's keep an eye on the central victory point, because it's an important engagement now. Panzer IV is going to push the lieutenant out of the capping circle. Very important work there by the Panzer. Meanwhile, the Raketenwerfer's capping. This is great work by Nagano. Suppressed lieutenant can't cap, and that could be the game won right there, quite frankly. In that moment, with that Panzer, Nagano may have finished off his allied resistance and maybe taking him and his teammate Scotch into the final tomorrow to fight for an historic prize pool. In this, the biggest cash pool prize in Company Heroes history. The King Tiger watches on in all its over-engineered, costly majesty.
just having it there is just so... Yeah, it's not like the strongest unit in the game, to be fair. You know, it's slow, it can be traversed easily, but just the fact that it's there, you know, you know it's something you have to deal with.
You don't need a King Tiger, but you want a King Tiger, and it's a trap as well for players that aren't winning decisively, as Nagano and Scotch clearly are here. I must say, they are showing that they are masters of this game. They are seed number 1 for this tournament, and it is with good reason, because despite losing game 1 today, they have gone on the warpath, and they are about to take this series 3-1 and be the first team to enter the finals. And they're going to take some beating, that's for certain.
Where's this Pershing going? This is going to be the final plays of the game. There's no time to get on the VPs. 4 VPs left. It's GG. Nagano and Scotch from Gold Path 2 will be going through.
Victory is ours.
Well, that was a fantastic close to the semi-finals. Gold Path 2, Nagano and Scotch played amazingly throughout that whole series. Not surprising, really, given that they are the most successful 2v2 team of all time in Company of Heroes. But that means we do say goodbye to Helping Hands and Devon from the event, so a bit sad for all the supporters there. But we're not going to wait too long before going, Matt.
We're not indeed. We're just going to say a quick few goodbyes. Big thanks to today. We will be back tomorrow. We're at the lovely 80Hz studios. Let's check it out at 80hertz.com. Thanks to Sega for funding this tournament. Great publisher, supporting a great developer in Relic Entertainment. Thanks for organising all the hard work that's going into Co. An amazing tournament we're seeing right now. The Anniversary Classic has been fantastic. I have been... AE, that's youtube.com/AECOH. You've got a literal library of all the best work Dan and I have ever done. And it all happens in the first part when it's the stuff that we get involved in, like King of the Hill, on twitch.tv/Stormless. Make sure you follow, even throw in a cheeky subscribe if you're feeling generous. You will know when our big stuff happens. And again, that's us. Pretty much ready to sign off, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to be back tomorrow casting the 3rd place games and the grand finals. It's 2 best of 5s, potentially grueling series going to be going on there. And we start at 2 p.m. GMT tomorrow. So you guys can calculate that out. I know there is some information for the other time zones for the PDT and all the other areas. So with that, good night, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have Twitch front page as well.
Wow.
So it's going to be a big showing from the community. So see you then.
Bye-bye.
Victory is ours. Scout car has arrived. Half-track has arrived. Officers can now be called in to rally our troops. A fresh officer has arrived.